Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Thursday Throwdown. My name is Dr. Fish. I will be your op, and I will be one of your casters for this evening. And alongside me, I have Mr. Dank's dad. Hello, how are you doing?
Doing well, Dr. Fish, and ready to see what the Thursday night life is like. I've been doing Fridays every week, and now we'll get to see another day.
Awesome. Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you for coming on in pretty short notice. Um, it's things are pretty busy for most of the regular casters on in our Thursday as they were mostly Tespa players. So
Mm.
there we go. But we have a great match to start here. We have Classy Thug versus JR Juggerlaw. I do have the bands in, so I will be updating them. Um, so the bands we have JR's Hunter is banned, and we have Classy Thug's Shaman band.
Mhm. Oh, those are some interesting bands here. I think with JR's lineup, you might be fearing the Burn Shaman from Classy Thug, but Classy Thug bringing the Demon Hunter and banning Hunter is. Oh, I think that implies that the Korean barbecue I just ate will not be the only spicy thing on my plate
Oh,
tonight.
yes. Oh, that sounds so good too.
I think Classy Thug's going to pull out all the stops, and we're going to see something that's probably a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I could see it for sure.
Mm. Yeah, I'm excited to get into the action here.
Yeah.
Knowing what you do about these players, who do you think you'd give the nod to tonight?
Ooh, who would I give the nod to? Um, Based on classes, um, I want to see how this paladin fares because I think you could. I don't know how as much the warlock might be the way that the paladin can get through from JR's lineup, but you can craft a pretty good lineup to kind of stop paladin since there's not a whole lot of diversity there. I will say that buff paladin has become a bit more popular, so there is really technically two decks you can play.
Hey,
Um,
don't
so
forget about Secret Paladin. It's a real deck.
oh yeah, I just haven't faced it a lot, and Secret Paladin does create some spice. It can definitely throw off the players a little bit.
Yeah, and I
Um,
think,
yeah,
I know that from having made the version that's most popular right now, it can do pretty well into Warlock and Druid. So
yeah. So I would not be surprised to see that. Both players are raring to go. I will not keep them any longer. I've given them the green light to go ahead and start playing. Got some good GLHFs in the chat between the two. You'll love to see it. So for those watching on the stream, Classy or JR will be first to spectate, and Classy Thug will be on the top. Um, so yeah, we're gonna get right into it as soon as we see some eyeballs.
sounds good, Doctor Fish. Let's get ready for some Hearthstone.
Yeah, guess we can try and talk about leads. It is a bit more difficult in Conquest to call a lead what people are gonna lead for their decks. Um,
Mm.
it's a bit
Well,
more of. Oop,
yeah,
we have
I
no
think it would make
spectates.
sense though for the players to try to protect their targets, but I don't really see an obvious one that sticks out in either lineup as the targeted class.
Yeah.
So, hmm. Well, it looks like we have JR in game. So
Okay.
let's
Cool.
jump in.
Yep. Message both players to remind them to turn their spectate on because it's not intuitive to keep your spectate
That's
on
right.
when you're playing a match in THL. Generally you're turning your spectate off.
Yes. And it looks like we have a Quest Warlock Mirror.
Nice. All right.
We'll see. Interesting. Classy Thug has the Showstopper version that's been taking the ladder by storm, but if JR banned Shaman, then I don't expect to see that in his list.
I agree.
We see the Mutinous already. Could add another dimension to the game. And for now, it seems like Classy Thug has already found his backfire, but JR answers right back. I spoke too soon. Now, Classy Thug actually has an opportunity for a pretty interesting play pattern here. So you can go for the tap, and then you can actually set up the tour guide coin backfire
Yeah.
for the next turn. We'll see if Thug elects to go for it.
I would guess that he will end up going for that line. It seems pretty strong for what he's planned out. With this tap, I believe he goes to 10 cards, which will allow him to coin out the tour guide. It can really be played in any order, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um.
He's on 8, so we can see the backfire first.
Yeah.
So we'll see the backfire. We'll see if Thug can find an Anethron. No luck, unfortunately, there. But tour guide will come down and can draw the card right away if he wants. Thug elects to hold the draw.
Yeah, I don't
Normally in that spot, I like going for it, but I think here, though, that line is history because Anethron is on the board. Getting this down on turn 4 is, I think, one of the best ways to really get ahead and pressure your opponent in this matchup, and it's on the other side, too.
Yeah.
I think Classy Thug gets a little bit punished for holding the hero power, but missing out on 2 more self-damage and another draw, but I don't think he's going to be complaining too much about playing a 1-mana 8/6.
No, I agree with that. He does have a line to clear. He has a line to clear here. He can tap and then he can go for like Drain Soul, Slinger plus touch in order to clear. Won't be able to play the Anetheron, and that kind of keeps it stuck in hand. You can just opt to play the Anetheron for the pressure it creates, but you're risking something like a Null. Just being able to pretty easily clear it with the 2/1. I guess you would want to remove the 2/1 in that instance.
Yeah,
in that particular line.
Definitely. But I think with the Raise Dead in hand, Classy Thug probably isn't all that opposed to his Anetheron getting removed. He's probably will just bring it right back.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. So he's going to go for the Anetheron here.
Yep. Shadowblade Slinger to remove the 2/1. And holding the Drain Soul is also interesting. I think in the mirror, discounting your Flesh Giants as tempo efficiently as possible is usually pretty key, but Classy Thug elects to take it slow. And we'll see the Knoll. Probably a touch of the Nazarim.
Yeah.
Set up the tour guide, and this Anetheron will start going face. Already Thug.
Go ahead.
Already Thug's in a tough spot, and that Flesh Giant's at 7, and even with a tap is still out of reach this turn.
Yeah, this looks like we're going to force out looks like Micah see a Tamsin plus Drain Soul to remove the minion. It's effective. It heals 6 damage. It takes the Anetheron off the field. Prevents lethal as well. Because you have to think, okay, maybe my opponent has their Battlegrounds Battlemaster already. We see that both players have it. So
see the tap. Drain Soul is timely there. This sets up a Flesh Giant and a Cult Neophyte if Juggernaut would like it.
Yeah. We're sitting currently at 14 in deck. We're just going to see Flesh Giant plus Cult Neophyte here.
Yes. And I think in this spot, we're in a situation where Juggernaut is going to be playing more for pressure and forcing clears out of Classy Thug than a situation where we're going to be looking at a Tamsin win condition.
Definitely. Yeah, I point that out because JR has Alterifier. I think this the big thing here is that it's going to take a lot of mana to remove this giant. Yeah.
Yes. And really that Alterifier this turn could be like a big innervate. And I'm guessing that we'll see it once that Bloodshard Bristleback finds a target.
Yeah.
Probably just the Mutinous here.
Yeah,
seems like a good use of mana.
yeah, mute would be pretty good here, and we can see that there's two pretty good targets and one okay target. Hits the
Ooh, that's
battlegrounds.
a good one.
Hits the battlegrounds battle master. Puts a 9/9 on the board.
Yes, and this really puts Classy Thug on the back foot because
Mm-hmm.
without the Battle Master, he really needs to count on his quest completion and Tamsin to close out the game and kill JR Juggernaut. But
Yeah.
only one of them can play to both win conditions, and the other can only play to one. So I think I'm liking Juggernaut's spot right now.
Yeah, Jared's definitely in a good spot, and those are bricks on the Raised Dead Showstopper. Will remove the will remove enough damage to
Is it?
that'll remove enough
is-
damage to take away lethal, but it does give a target for bristle back, which can just
Yes.
be which can almost just which can't quite just be tapped into.
Well, Altar of Fire can just set it up. I think,
Yeah,
and that's
definitely.
probably a good option.
I would agree with that. JR is taking it a bit slower.
Raised Dead. Do you think we'll see the Mutinous into Raised Dead?
I
Oh, tough hits, but
enough to clear.
yes.
The Showstopper really coming in handy because it took the extra like 5 off of Mutinous. All right, so we are still gonna see Alter here. I think Jared just wanted to see draw as much as he could here.
Yeah. I don't really like this timing here. I think that committing to the altar early and developing the 6/6 would have been a bit stronger from a pressure perspective, but
In this line, the Soul Rend is quite strong here. It just removes the board completely. And you've already seen one Raised Dead. You have to guess about the likelihood of the other one being played. I don't know. The Altar of Fire, I believe, burned JR's other Raised Dead, so you're looking at no more Raised Deads.
yes.
From that one, from the one side. JR is at least close to completing second part of the quest.
Yeah.
Um,
So a play that I actually really liked in that position would have been to see Classy Thug go for the Tamsin Soul Rent.
mhm.
Put a 0 mana Soul Rend in hand, thin out the deck even more, and really race toward that empty deck, especially with the backfire in hand. But
Yeah,
it looks like instead we'll see a more defensive stance.
definitely.
We're drawing more cards, protecting the removal,
Yeah,
and just using removal here, but the Strand's that at an awkward breakpoint. So you go tap.
Yep, JR will complete more parts of the quest.
Dreadlich Tamsin.
Yeah, that's quite good. JR sitting with 8 cards in hand, 8 cards, so he will be able to play this and not have to burn because he'll be able to play a 1-mana 6/6.
Exactly. This is looking real good for JR again.
Yep, spell rifts are quite important in this matchup because just getting those extra 3/3 is very important. It creates a lot of extra board, and now they're all sitting behind a taunt.
Yes. There might be a line where Classy Thug can use Soul Rend to take advantage of them and get even closer to fatigue. And
agreed. He's got 4 cards left in deck. So
all right, and there's his own Dreadlich Tamsin. Mana doesn't really work out for that right now, though.
yeah,
We see a Slinger.
does not find Slinger. Does find the Bristleback though. So
yeah, the next best thing.
Mm-hmm.
Probably see a tour guide here.
Yeah, definitely. They're trading blow for blows. Just the health is a little higher for JR. He's just not able to complete. He's just at 0 of 8 with not. He has one more backfire in his deck, I believe. I don't think it got burned. So he will have a way to draw and kind of take extra damage. But
I like this line a lot.
This is a really forcing line from Classy. Like he's forcing JR to have to deal with a giant. Which he can.
He's also setting up a very nice tap that does exact damage into Tamsin.
Oh, so I'm guessing. Yeah, he is.
So we'll see probably tap Tamsin Roam's Soul Rend next turn, followed by the Dreadlich the turn after.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, so unfortunately, I don't think that JR can really set up a board that's resilient to that. So we'll see.
No, he could essentially set up no board, but he's gonna leave a board. But he'll go into this line.
Yeah, I like this though. You have to remove it.
Mhm.
We'll see. Another Fell Rift. Altar of Fire. So the Altar of Fire is cheeky here, but I think it's actually the right line. You want to put just that little bit of extra damage on.
And he's gonna remove the. He's gonna actually put. He must know what this last card is. Touch of the Nathrazim. I'm not sure I liked setting Classy Thug
the
into
Altar of Fire
fatigue
is
like this.
perfect there. This actually gets off another couple damage.
Oh, okay.
It makes the Tamsin a little bit bigger, but he can't play Dreadlich anymore. This actually forces Classy Thug to take 4 damage.
Oh
instead.
yeah. And then that's just essentially game.
Right.
If he does that. So.
But yeah, we need to see this Soul Rend here right now.
Yeah.
And then I'm guessing that.
But essentially, Classy Thug could just do nothing, and just get it next turn, and he won't really die.
Yeah. Well, here though, JR also doesn't have a lot going on either.
But JR notably gets his Blightborn Tamsin down first.
Yes. I think that JR just wins from this position. It looks like checkmate to me.
Yeah, I can see it.
But yeah. Classy Thug just was not able to get to the end fast enough, and JR was able to take it easy.
Yeah. Like you can just play out Neophyte.
Yep. And play out the tour guide. Why not? Or touch works too. But it's just there's just no way that this Tamsin can be removed cleanly.
And Dreadlich can't be played. And removed. So yeah. So JR takes this one. I mean, I guess you could just essentially kill yourself with the Dreadlich Tamsin.
Well, it looks like that's how Classy Thug's gonna go out.
Yep. Respect. Big respect, honestly. Yeah, this was a really good mirror, and it was just it was up in. It looked really dicey at one point for JR, but he was able to. But he was able to recuperate.
Yes.
Well, so we'll go into game 2 with JR up a game, but we'll let the animations play out. Go. All right.
All right, so looking at game 2, now that JR has won on the Warlock, you think that we'll see the Hunter or Druid in the next game?
JR doesn't have Hunter. He has Shaman and Druid.
No, Shaman, that's right.
So I think it depends on the Shaman list. It depends on what type of target JR wants. If like there is a line in which he was kind of trying to do well into the Warlock, but there could also be a line where he's edging more towards a Paladin, which are pretty much completely different decks. You don't want to be playing stuff like Quest Shaman into it with a hand lock. But at the same time, Quest Shaman is very good also into like Paladin, and it can have some legs into it.
And that's what we see.
See Shaman versus Paladin.
Yes, and it is the Quest Shaman, as you guessed, which, given the Mutinous and the Altar of Fire, makes sense. Those are the cards that usually are good against the Paladin, but it seems, though, like Classy Thug has a really great start over there.
He does, and he's going... I believe he's notably going first here.
Yes.
So, this could get a bit out of hand. Trog is quite difficult for Quest decks to deal with, because they don't get to make their turn 1 play, essentially.
Right.
Without spawning Trogs.
Exactly. And there's a chance we could maybe see an Perpetual Fire or some way for JR to deal with this, but looks like right now he's getting trogged.
Yep.
right? So we might see an overdraft trade.
Yeah, I think overdraft trade is good here because you could
Hmm.
just because he'll just play sleep breaker next turn, or
Yeah.
yeah, probably play sleep breaker, which can remove the trog. He'll have to take
No.
some damage, but
Yes, and at this point, though, Classy Thug has a decision to make about whether he wants to protect this Trog or, well, there's another one.
yeah, I think the second trog's not as handy. Um, I mean, I guess you could just play the trog now. Just go like
Right.
trog plus the librum. I I might be more partial towards Alliance Bannerman because I see the obviously we have Eldar Truthseeker. Classy Thug has Eldar Truthseeker in their hand.
Hmm.
Um, so it's
Right.
interesting. JR doesn't have a whole lot of. He doesn't really necessarily have to worry about playing quests right away. I think simply because
Well,
there's not a lot of overload in his hand. He's got a lot of non-overload cards.
right. The way I see it, though, I like the Libram Trog line,
I do
and this
too.
is and this is because the only removal for this that can answer it cleanly on this turn
Perpetual Flame.
is actually Perpetual Flame. And if Juggernaut commits the quest before Perpetual Flame, then we're going to see a big overload, and Juggernaut can't actually play his next turn.
Yeah, he doesn't find it.
All right, so we'll just see a Tempo Fireheart, which actually is a big win for Classy Thug.
Yeah.
Torrent, good.
Yeah, Torrent's pretty good here. Molten Blast also okay as well.
Yep. Oh wow, that's a very nice setup there.
Yeah, pretty much everything this paladin could want, it has gotten to this point.
Yes.
To keep the Trog alive and to remove all the threats from the Shaman.
Yep, and I'm sure he'll protect both Trogs.
Yes.
Yes, Classy Thug elects to. And there's Lightning Bolt, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, I think it's still important to remove the 4/1 Trog.
Definitely.
Like
Nope,
at this point, there is definitely a line you can take to kind of try and even over. I think like Trogs can actually eventually become a two-edged sword for Paladin, where if it's Libram Paladin, if you can try and flood their board so they can't play their big minions. Like
Absolutely.
and they're forced to trade off. They're forced to trade off into minions, and if you're not really doing any minions, then kind of difficult. But I think this is a fine position for the Paladin. For now.
Oh, for sure. I think though that this Truth Seeker coming down is brutal,
Yes.
and that still is another taunt for JR to get through. The breakpoint is just perfect to get over Canal Slogger. I think we'll see probably a Trog pick off one of those 1/1s. But this is
Hmm.
this is just such a commanding position, and
Yeah.
the missing Perpetual Flame really seems to have cost JR.
Yeah. I think yeah, I think you're absolutely correct in on that. I think at this point you just cannot be you can't really be afraid of the Drogs. You got to kind of play in spite of them, kind of force them to be a weakness for your trying to make them a
Definitely.
weakness for your opponent. You can freeze. You could freeze.
The two
You
the
could
more
like you could
Wow. I don't like that conceit at all. I think that the line that you were about to say, freezing the large high attack minions and looking for Perpetual Flame and trying to get an out.
I was just gonna say you can freeze up the minions, cause the board to get over flooded. You just gotta freeze the taunt minion, and you freeze the. Yeah, I think that would have been definitely a solid line to take. But I
Mhm.
mean, you know, that's definitely no, we can't speak for the players as to reasons for conceding. I just think that Jr. might have thought that the matchup was never going to go back in his favor after that, which is possible. Um,
Yeah.
so he wanted to get out and kind of keep himself in a good mental state
Hmm.
and go into the next uh matches. I'll be
Yeah. I think at this point, though, even though the match is tied 1-1 right now, I still think that I think Classy Thug might have a bit of the upper hand because it seems like JR was really going after that Paladin, and it
yeah,
got through first try.
yes. Yeah, so it might be a bit tricky. The quest shaman now kind of becomes a bit of a liability.
Oh.
Um and it can be, especially into certain builds of Demon Hunter. Um
Hmm.
all right, this looks
I
like
think
Fell.
yes, which as of late has been a pretty even matchup so far
Yeah.
on the ladder.
Yeah. I think this is just fine. The quest shaman won't have a Troc to deal with. So
Yes.
definitely will, be able to get the quest down and find ways to and be able to navigate their usual line. I do want to note that the diligent note taker isn't something I'm used to seeing in quest shaman. I have seen it in certain variants. Depending on, I think it just depends on what you're trying to make your quest shaman better into. I would
Yes.
I would be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if this deck doesn't have Slogger, because they're really. Oh no, it does have a Slogger. At least it probably has just one Slogger because you're not playing into
Right.
Hunter.
Yeah,
So
I think that JR's list is actually the one that I've been playing on ladder this season, and I can say I'm a real fan of the note taker.
mhm,
It is I love the flexibility and game plan it gives you, and
mhm.
I think that in this matchup it actually will prove to be very useful.
I can see it.
Using note Finding a third charge call is so huge.
Mhm. Or even here, like, I guess it doesn't matter as much, but making even something like a second Feral Spirit, or whatever. But I think Charge Call is definitely what the aim is.
Right.
Or devolving missiles in certain matchups as well. Um,
Yes.
if I don't know if this list will also be running devolve, but
Hmm. I'd say probably not. I
gotcha.
don't think that there's room if you're running note taker and slogger,
Mhm.
but maybe we'll see it. I could be proven wrong.
And
So interesting discover here. I think it's just the sigil runner, but Classy Thug goes for the glide. Wonder
I
what line he sees.
interesting because he's not gonna. I mean, he does have decent enough line where he can just kind of rip the Fell Barrage and then have a way to essentially place Skull into Felgorger and eventually get to the glide.
Hmm.
But I
I
do
mean,
think I do think that the line that you like, the pick of the runner, probably a little better because it does churn through your deck more. Um
yes, and I just think though that with this skull on the left, you're not really going to be in a position where you want to glide. But
exactly.
we all do love a good skull on the left.
Definitely we're going to get to see a skull in 2 turns here. Can can even probably just see Felgorger next turn. A Feral Spirit's
Yep.
coming out from Classy Thug. Or sorry, from JR.
Yes.
Um there's the missing Perpetual Flame from last game. Sad.
Yes. And I think though if we see the Felgorger, JR is probably breathing a sigh of relief because this is actually one of the only turns where Perpetual Flame is really usable in this matchup. And turning on your multicaster is so nice.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think we'll probably see the flame here. But JR seems to be considering other options.
hmm I think with the pickup of the Lightning Bolt, you I definitely wouldn't have minded seeing the Perp Flame, because you can Lightning Bolt face Perpetual Flame and then you clear off, and that's the first part of quest completed.
Exactly.
And I don't know how much. I know burn damage can be pretty good into Demon Hunter, but I think mainly what you're looking for is you're
Well,
mainly just looking to complete your quest as the shaman as fast as possible.
yes,
Um,
your win condition is Scrapyard Colossus off of Charge Call
yeah,
or a Vivid Spores into a Taunt. That's
something like
usually
that.
how you can win this matchup.
Yeah.
Of course, burn with Instructor Fireheart's also an option, but that's just a lot harder to pull off.
Mm-hmm. Um, we could see Classy Thug go for a clear of everything but the 2/4 here.
Hmm.
Um, Not sure if that's something he's going to be super interested in. Did pick up second studies. Yeah, we're gonna see Arcanist plus Spellscreen Blast, just leaving a 2/1
Yep.
on the board.
And there's the charge call.
Yeah,
So now we get another chance to Perpetual Flame, which is nice.
I guess we're gonna see the Lightning Bolt. We're gonna Perpetual Flame
it's the
after.
same.
It's the same. It's exactly the same. You're right.
As long as you're planning on playing the Lightning Bolt, it works out the same in this order. So
Definitely.
yep, awesome. All right, another Chaos Leech off the top. Get 5 damage here.
And Vosh is actually pretty interesting, because Vosh Prime draws spells, which is pretty much exactly what JR wants. He wants to draw his spells, which can thin the deck to maybe, and which would eventually help thin deck, and hopefully if multicasters aren't drawn by that point, get to multicasters, because that's going to be such a crucial card for the shaman to accept to kind of keep their hand up in cards.
Yep. So in Vash goes, and out Vash comes. That's
All right.
convenient. We'll probably see the studies here. I think you have to skip Slogger this turn.
Definitely. I kind
Vash
of...
Totem?
Yeah, I think the play was either Thalnos or Guild Trader.
Guild Trader to see the Slogger. That works out.
Yeah, I agree. Slogger's fine here. There's not a whole lot you're playing into when you do this. I mean, there's clears. Obviously, Demon Hunter's got a lot of clear cards. That's a good pickup. The Chaos Strike, just juicing up Jace for when he comes down. Definitely.
Yep. Oh, and JR actually gets the heal. That works out very well for him.
Yeah, the attack hasn't come through yet.
Well, I don't think there's a way at this point, though, for Classy Thug to deny a 6. Oh, well, that's a way. You can see Studies, Chaos Leech, or, well, I'm not really sure what we're seeing here. Looks like we're going to probably just see the Spectral Sight to look for Kurtrus.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep,
I don't think the Demon Hunter's... I think the Demon Hunter's pretty happy sitting at 25 life.
Oh, absolutely, but I don't think that the Quest Shaman really has the tools to pressure the Demon Hunter down.
Yeah.
And those are some nice draws here.
They are.
Portal is just perfect.
Another Prime.
Yep, another one.
Yeah.
Build your own Rustwicks. Right. I think I liked holding the bolt a little bit better there.
Yeah.
Just to maybe deny a bit of healing, but now that Glide is on the left with nowhere to go, Skull is on the right with nowhere to go.
There's no, and notably there is no, there's no Immolation Aura played, so Jace would not clear this board very well.
Right.
Looks like Classy Thug is going to use up his first expendable performers. Notably, Kurtrus has not been drawn yet. In the bottom 10, along with the second performers, there is a Fellfire Deadeye in hand, though, which is part of the combo, and that is a potential win condition this deck will have to rely on against this Shaman deck, which has been running through their cards pretty well, and I think with a good draw next turn can actually complete quest.
Yeah, no, well, then they absolutely can.
And they play Brukan here, so
yes. So we'll see Guidance, Lightning Bloom, Brukan, and
yeah,
yep. But
and
I think that
Dunk Tank gets corrupted notably.
Yes, I think from Classy Thug, we actually could have seen maybe Fury into Skull last turn to dig more and still leave the Chaos Leech up.
Mhm.
That might have been a better way to keep the cards flowing. But for now,
Mhm.
now we're going to start digging.
Yeah.
All right. Thalnos looks good. Probably just Steward. Yep.
Yeah, Stewart's nice here.
Yeah, and then we'll just probably see one of the Thalnoses go out maybe just to fetch more cards. But
Yeah, I don't know about playing the... I would say I didn't know too much about playing the Thalnos when you can play a 3-mana... When you can play a 3-mana thing, but I guess it doesn't matter. It's the same mana cost regardless. So,
yes, I
yeah.
think here the draw one card is just super valuable for
Mhm.
JR.
Yeah. I
Just to
mean, yeah, he's got a big turn coming up here, sitting on 6 mana.
hmm
So we'll see how we'll see what Classy Thug wants to do here. The skull is now blocked by an expendable performer, so it can't get outcasted. Um Glide, I believe oh wait, oh sorry, I have the hands mixed up. So Glide is on the left,
yes,
Skull is on the right. Oh my gosh. So yeah, we could potentially see a Glide if it's too much, if Classy Thug thinks it's a bigger threat and might want to dig. Can't play the Kurtrus, but could want to dig for it. I think if you play performers
Oh,
here,
no.
you're kind of sacrifice. This is not a good position.
Well, I think at this point, Classy Thug's game is about over.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
it's
I think he also missed out on some performers there.
he did.
I
He
think
could have traded off. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, and there's a lightning bloom, so keep an eye out for overdraft. We could see something huge here.
yeah. Especially with the fact that JR has a spell damage minion in hand.
Yes.
Um,
Multicaster, perfect here.
yeah, multicaster's great here.
Setup. And at this point now, JR doesn't have to even worry about Kurtrus. The
Mhm.
expendable performers are gone.
Yeah, multicaster first because you can always bloom after if you want.
Yep.
Wind chill, Feral Spirits,
And a Kama Prime.
Kama Prime. Not the hits you're necessarily looking for.
Oh, I don't know about this lightning bloom, but we're gonna draw more cards and look maybe for not sure.
He needs to find
Perpetual-
He needs an overdraft, but he didn't find it. He can.
Well, yeah, I think the charge call and sleep breaker line is just fine.
Yeah, this is fine.
But
You're right.
we'll see if we see some scrapyard, and there it is. The WinCon and Deathwing should lock it up.
Yeah.
All right, I think
Yeah,
things are looking pretty tough for Classy Thug now.
No Mag Theridin in hand. A lot of the things that Classy Thug was looking for, just not really showing up. So JR looks like he's gonna get this Quest Shaman through.
Definitely.
The Glide does pretty much nothing here. You can play Kurt if you get it, but it's not gonna do enough. Jace doesn't have any immolation auras or a lot of board clears really to deal with it, and you're dealing with so much taunt, and both expendables performers used up. It's it just looks to be a very tough situation. We are gonna go for the skull here, try and draw our way out of it potentially.
Well,
there's a mag.
Paradon, talented Arcanist. Oh no!
So he has found the way to clear everything, but
The 7/7.
the 7/7 that will come out.
But even then, this Magtheridon just gets cleaned up, mopped up by Torrent or Windchill.
Yeah. I think, yeah, it's good healing for the Druid, but, sorry, good heal for the Demon Hunter, but, yeah, getting a Novice Zapper is big.
Yeah,
we're gonna JR's gonna do some drawing here. He has plenty to work
the
with.
overdraft. So now, and the Fireheart. No Lightning Bloom left though. That's a shame.
Yeah, there's
Lightning.
he can't end the game, but he can. I think he doesn't even need to worry about the Magtheridin now. He can just kind of go for a board if he wants.
Yeah, he's just gonna be playing cards.
Yeah.
We'll see the double feral, the overdraft for 8 damage or 9 damage with the second hit.
Yeah.
And then probably the dunk tank for another 10 to set Classy Thug to 2.
Yeah, there's no way they can get corrupted below. So yeah, that's good. JR can just go ahead and set him to low health, especially with a fire heart.
Yeah. Well, we'll
I
see the torrent instead.
Okay.
I think gonna keep the dunk tank a secret for now.
Sure. I don't know what type of punish there is, but I might have just wanted to get the damage out there just because we have Fireheart. And I think that having the ability, because Fireheart, you just pick a cheap spell, you have so many chances to find direct damage, especially because you're running it post brew con. So,
Absolutely.
you
And
know,
if you can pick up a guidance, get a lightning bloom, you're
Yeah.
off to the races.
especially seeing as we froze the mag, which I think was definitely a good play. I mean, the torrent works. I don't see any real I don't see any real way that Classy Thug can clear everything because Mag Theridin is gone.
Jace will do
Jace will do
something toward it.
Jace will do something. You're right.
But we'll see.
All right, so we're gonna go for
Purchase.
some Kurt damage. Gonna try and just heal up a bunch with Kurtrus, Hero Powers, and the Warglaves. It looks like Fury as well. Lots of damage. Can remove the Can definitely remove a lot of this taunt.
Yeah. And those demons are just big enough to get through the Scrapyard Colossus.
Yeah. All right, we're gonna be lagging a bit behind, but the animations did go out. All the minions were removed that could be removed, and he's at a healthy life total.
Yep.
So
back on up to 28.
Yeah.
Well, though here that dunk tank just mops up the board. Thalnos dunk tank looks very good.
Yeah, I'd like that. I think. Yeah, Akama Prime is good here as well, but
that's great too.
Yeah,
just
it's good.
Pressure him.
Yeah.
I personally like to hold Akama until after all the AoEs are gone, but we'll
I think now Glide is pretty. I know you have the Jace, but you have 3 cards in deck, and some of your cards that you have are clear cards. As far as I
think
know,
though, if he glides though, there's no way the Akama can get cleared.
That's true. You're right.
So we see Chaos Leech, Chaos Strike. We find Immolation.
Yeah, the lack of Immo auras being played gave me a little bit of hesitancy, but this isn't too bad. We're gonna see another big massive heal. Yep, Fury's all played.
Yep.
Back up to 30 while JR goes down, but I think with this last gasp, JR can just play Slog. Can even just offer Slogger charge call, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think that Classy Thug really has any ways to take advantage of the hero power left in the deck.
It's Localars. Probably
no taunt, but
probably pick Deathwing here.
Yep.
Yeah.
Slogger finds. Yep, and that's a wrap.
Yeah, the heal there at the end was very clutch. Just to have the Slogger still there to be played.
Yeah, I don't know really how much damage that Classy Thug really even had left to offer in the deck. Aside from the hero power, pretty much he had spent all of it.
Yes, so really, I mean, it was definitely an interesting matchup. The Shaman coming out on top, just in the Demon Hunter was still able to hang in there pretty much until the last big swing it could make. So
Definitely.
Got one deck less for JR. He's got this Druid into a Warlock, Demon Hunter.
And it's the Beast Druid, and looks like he was going after the Paladin, but not really the matchup you want to face if you're JR.
No, I agree, but it's definitely one of those matchups that's I feel quite dependent on. I think this matchup's quite dependent on Soul Rend.
Yes, but JR is not going to be starting fast, and with backfire available, Classy Thug is going to have a lot of chances to
Agreed.
find the removal.
Agreed. Yeah.
Woof. Such an anemic start. It's
I
just
know.
so unfortunate.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Tap. Another Flesh Giant. And Speaker Gidra.
Mm-hmm.
Dreadlich Tamsin. Oh boy.
Yeah, Tamsin is another key card in this matchup. The one thing that Beast Root has is that it can go above 3. It can go obviously above the 3 health total that requires, but it doesn't generally go much above the 5 of Rend. So JR will have some abilities to I'll make a. He might want to go for a Gidra play here potentially.
I like the Gidra a lot.
Yeah.
Just having something with 6 health is so hard for the Warlock to deal with. They need exactly both Drain Souls, or they be playing excuse me, full blown evil.
Yeah.
Instead, going to see the hero power.
It's gonna go in on the attacks, and there's plenty of clears here from the Warlock. And there's no real big mass board clearing. It's just little bits of healing here, little bits of clearing with whether it's the Mortal Coil, and the Drain Soul in hand. So realistically, you're only leaving 2 things on board because you're definitely not leaving the 3/3 up.
Oh, absolutely not.
So
I really hope though that Classy Thug doesn't really make the mistake here and isn't protective of the cards in his deck. I want him to really just not be afraid to blow through them and be able to just oh no, and just overdraw. It's okay.
Oh, he's overdrawing. No, he's not overdrawing. He's on 9.
Yes, and that Anethron is set up to come down. So I think here we have to see the Gidra Living Seed.
Yeah.
No? Okay.
I definitely like that, but I think just JR wants to go as wide on board as possible here. He's trying to set up for a pretty nice Arbor up next turn. So he might get his wish too, realistically.
Yeah. With the coin gone, we know that Dreadlich Tamsin's no longer available.
Yep.
And I think that was kind of the play I was hoping to see this turn from Classy Thug.
Yeah, I can see that for sure. And from here, I mean, he's gonna go up to 20, but I believe wait.
Is this lethal? We have 5 damage. We have 10 damage from Gidra. We have this is it.
This is gonna be lethal. Yeah, JR's just gonna have lethal with Arbor up because of Gidra. Yeah,
I think Classy Thug just
yeah. JR should just recognize it. Yeah, he does right away. Yep. Very smart, very good. He has just enough to get in the win. Yep.
And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. JR
takes the match.
Takes the match. There we go. Super quick. Game 4 win for JR Juggerlaw here against Classy Thug as he puts Illidan's gets some good points for Illidan's Death Knights, and they're fighting for playoffs here against Defias and some good matches.
Yeah.
So I'll ask JR for an interview quickly. All right. Here we go. The JR is now here. Hello, JR.
Greetings.
Thanks for coming on, and well played match out there.
Thank you. I'm not gonna lie, I was sweating that for a good majority of it.
It seemed like once those Trogs came down and Classy Thug's Paladin got through, it looked like your lineup might have been in a bit of trouble. Is that where it really started for you?
I was definitely starting to worry at that point. I've been very firmly a proponent of Trog should just be removed from the game purely because of matches like that. And I really thought I was going to end up having a I thought I had several counters to it, several ways I could have just instantly removed it, but I couldn't quite make it happen. So I just got so frustrated at that point. I was like, you know what? Better move on to the next matchup, not give him any more unnecessary information regarding my deck. Um, but I did figure matchup wise, I thought I at least had like a pretty decent shot even after Paladin went through. I,
Mhm.
just figured I'd have to stay focused and play my cards right.
Absolutely. And I think in that Demon Hunter Shaman game, it seemed like for you at least, I think that it was kind of that matchup knowledge that seemed to really help you through. I think that you definitely really had a clear idea of what your win condition was in completing the quest, and I think that really shone through. How do you think about that Fell Demon Hunter versus Quest Shaman matchup?
That's a very good question. I would say that when it comes to that matchup in particular, there are two things you're often thinking about. One is avoiding creating a scenario where the dang it, I'm forgetting the expendable performer that 7 cost spell, when they basically have their combo out, you basically want to avoid a scenario where they can just get through with enough damage. That's one way you're going about it. But the other strategy that often tends to work is once you get the quest going and you get your charge call off, if you can get at least one of the one Colossus off,
Yep.
preferably two if you can, that's just going to be something that's really hard for your opponent to get through. Obviously, here I had the advantage of knowing that he used both of the spell pretty early on. So even if I knew he still had Jace left in the deck, I knew he wasn't going to have his combo available. He still definitely kept me a bit nervous because I was like, okay, is there a way that I could still potentially lose? He's doing quite a bit of damage here. I figured even though he was getting down to, even though he was getting down to the very end of his deck, I was like, he keeps pulling some interesting surprise one after the other, really, really doing an effective job of playing out of situations that, by all accounts, I thought he had no way of playing out of. So, honestly,
Mhm.
props to Classy Thug for really keeping himself alive as long as he could.
Definitely. That line with the second Skull of Gul'dan was just an excellent clear. Just finding the talented Arcanist and and the Magtheridon, getting both discounts. Like that was just very well played on his part.
Very much so. I know not everybody has been playing Magtheridon lately, but I've started to notice the trend of it becoming a bit more popular in Fell Demon Hunter overall.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, I was just like I was getting a bit nervous going into this match in general. I'd been on a pretty good win streak and I really wanted to keep it going. Even if my team is still kind of on the fence. I really wanted I wanted this to be like a good start to the week for us. I was definitely glad I could get it. I'm really hoping the rest of my team is able to follow through in a similar way, but I definitely believe in them. I have faith.
Oh, we'll see. That playoff mix for gold is a tough one. I know that me and the Stubbs, we're in the thick of it too. Everyone is really gunning for that 5th spot.
Oh, you mean that 4th spot?
Or 4th spot, excuse me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but like
4.
it's just tied at 5. That's where all of
Definitely.
the teams are stacked.
No, I get you.
Yeah,
It's
for
going to be
sure.
exciting for sure. I feel like in every single conference, it's going to be very close to the very end.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And well, you've got 1 week left for you to, get out there and get another win. So hopefully you guys can, put a strong finish in there.
That's all we can hope for, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
So before we let you go, I do have one more question for you.
Go for it.
So across the lineup, we saw that, you had some card choices in there that, established tech, but pretty nice, like the Mutinous and like the Altar of Fire. You definitely came prepared for the Paladin and the Warlock Mirror. But was there any piece of tech that we didn't see that you thought was going to really be a winner tonight?
Hmm. I'm trying to think because not particularly. The tech choices that I were playing that I've been that you did see were uh were probably all the ones I really had. I think just in general, I've been kind of figuring out what techs I like to comfortably play in general. Um, versus like what I want to kind of versus some cards I may only want to play depending on the classes my opponent brings.
Hmm.
I will say this though, it's not tech related, but I was a bit sad that he banned Hunter because I won't go into too much detail about it, but my Hunter deck was a bit of a special little brew for tonight, and it actually
Oh
got me to
yeah,
Legend earlier today.
Oh
probably
So I was
boy.
like
pro-
looking forward to bringing that.
Hmm.
nice.
And the ironic thing is, I actually rolled over by accident this week, so I wasn't even planning to bring Hunter. And then
Oh.
suddenly I was like, wow, I'm glad I brought it. And then suddenly, oh, it's banned. So I'm just like,
Mm.
what do I even make of this at this point?
Well, I'm not going to try to pry too much, but I'm guessing that Justin and a few others are probably smiling at home. Yeah, knowing if I had to guess which
Yeah,
hunter it is.
either Justin is smiling or Defias is smiling. I will always
Possibly both.
maybe. But yeah, obviously, thank you so much for coming on and playing.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and we have, 2 more matches to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get right over into our next match.
All right.
Pull that up here. Oop, we're gonna see that disappear for a second, but oh look, there's another match. So yeah, next match we have is gonna be more Legacy series, but this time we're in the 5 seed. We got Crew Finway versus Super Murloc. So we've got 2 solid players. Super Murloc, who has been subbing. I don't believe he's subbed much down in the 5, but he's a permasub now on Fish. And Kuru has been having an excellent season down in the 5.
Yes.
I will say I am like seeing 2 losses and realizing, wow, I'm one of only 2 losses this player has taken on the season. It's pretty cool, from my perspective at least. But I have great respect for both of these players. We have bans in. We have a Paladin ban. Let's see, I have to parse through this information. So, Kuru Finway has no Paladin. Super Murloc has no Druid.
Such a bummer. I helped Kuro with his prep this week. We're teammates, and I was excited to see that Paladin in action. I wanted to see
man.
it fly.
I would have loved to have seen it as well. I'm sure. I'm a big fan of Paladin myself. So unfortunately, that's something we don't have. Cool. So I'm gonna go ahead, send the players off. Obviously, I know that you've been prepping, so you can't necessarily give away your team's prep. I love the Priest. Priest is such a versatile class.
Yes,
I think that all the classes that were brought here, Mage definitely has a bit of does have a little bit of flexibility, but so for spectating this match, first to spectate is going to be Super Murloc. Second to spectate is going to be Kura Finway. I always just look at these matchups, and I always just decide, all right, it's always random who gets to be on the bottom, who gets to be on the top. I know some people have a very specific way they do it, and I do not.
Oh, well, whatever works.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that for Super Murloc, I know that last week, I believe he was on stream on the Ping Mage.
Yeah.
I was told. So we'll see if he brings it back, or if this time it's Mozaki.
Definitely. But we don't even start there. We start with a Shaman. Oh my gosh. Wait, no, I don't think this is an exact mirror, actually. It could be, though. Let me get this match pulled up on screen. We've got double Shaman to start.
Yes. So it looks like we have yep, Kuru.
Is this
So
an
we have-
aggro? Is this an aggro free Shaman mirror?
It is. I think Kuru's on the elementals. So is Super Murloc too. But I'm not sure how much freeze Kuru actually has in comparison, but I guess we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think this was a last-second decision for him. But
Yeah.
strong start for both players.
Definitely. The draws here. That's a good draw from Super
Ugh,
Murloc.
That's brutal.
It's brutal because it forces this, because it might actually force out a like. It's so weird because you want to play that Wild Paw as early as possible, but you just can't now.
Yeah, it's no longer available.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to see an early coinish play.
Yeah,
chip damage coming in. There's none of the real big. The heavy hitters are in the hand for Kuru, so he does have a lot of decent stuff here.
Yeah, and that Whack-A-Nole hammer is just huge.
Yeah, Whack-A-Nole's gonna be really nice for him. The Wild Paw Cavern, I really would have maybe liked. The Custodian was definitely a good pickup. I guess without that Custodian pickup, he probably ends up considering just coining to be able to play that the next thing on. Play his Cavern on 4 there, but
yeah, I think I probably would have looked for a Totem, then coin Totem the next turn.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense. You're right. Yeah.
Right, the Gyre Worm is offline, so I think probably see just the Slogger.
Yep, Slogger's good here. It can remove the
remove 3/4, put some damage back for Kuru.
Yeah.
I think interesting, gonna protect the Slogger, but this leaves him open to another Frostbite, and Forgeborn Frostbite looks awesome.
That's such a good play. Yeah, you can just play Frostbite first and then play the Granite Forgeborn. Baron Glacier has 2 things, and it's gonna come down next turn potentially, which I actually would like to see. It's just a lot. It's a big tempo swing in the matchup.
Well, how much? So we've seen 2 freeze spells from Super Murloc, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot of stats.
Definitely. And he already has a Wild Paw on the board that's ticking every turn. So
yeah, so I think the Slogger seems like the best option into the 3/4, but it just
feels bad.
It's not looking good for Kuru. Those Frostbites were very timely.
Yeah. That was a huge win for Super Murloc in this matchup in totality. The fact that he was able to pick those up is a big positive for him. Not necessarily game winning, but it feels like it at this point. He opts to go for the Whack-A-Nole hammer line here over the Baron Glacier, mate.
Yeah,
might feel a little greedy. I don't really know how Kuru's deck would punish such stats, but hey, getting more stats on the board immediately that can attack is just fine.
Yeah, I think that like turning off the Lily Pad Lurker too is a little bit rough. Now there's a cluttered board. You can't even get all of the elementals.
Yeah,
the staggers. They're just so we might see Wind Chill. Trade.
I think
and
we
then
can.
Baron.
Yeah, I think you trade a 3/4 in. You trade the 3/4. You play Baron, and then you probably just take tank the face damage. You just tank the 5 with your face.
Yeah, or even go face. That
I
works
guess so.
too.
I guess the same. Yeah, that works. Gonna play the 1/3 to turn it back on. Next turn, it works.
I think we're just gonna see the Lily Pad Lurker too, maybe, or is Super Murloc going to just hold it?
Yeah.
Nope, no Lurker, but I don't think Kuru really has the means to punish that.
No, unfortunately, I don't think so. I don't think he does either. He can remove like 1 attack essentially from the board here.
Yeah, and then the Slogger will remove the 0/1
and healing.
I think I would have liked the Slogger into the taunt totem or into the 1/3, excuse me, and then use the Gyre Worm to hit the Wailing Vapor. But this is looking pretty tough for Kuru right about now.
It is. I'm looking for a line where you can buff the 3. You get that thing kind of buffed a little bit before, and then you don't have to necessarily attack into a 0/1 taunt right away. But I guess we're gonna do it I guess you're kind of forced to eventually do that.
Yeah, and I think Super Murloc missed probably a point of attack on the second Wailing Vapor. But
Yes.
Tense situation, but maybe Kuru can bring it back.
Maybe, yeah. Eventually we have to see something used, whether it's a
I think
whether
Snowfall Guardian is just sort of game winning for either player right now.
at this point, yeah, it will be at this point. I think the
the trade, the hit.
okay.
It's his own Baron, but that doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he hasn't played any spells. I would have even maybe have liked to. I think just holding on to the spells, you're kind of forced into it because of Frostbite. But next turn with the Revenant in, it's just gonna get clear.
Well, now he's dead. It's over.
He is just dead. You're right. Yeah, there's no way to remove. You could have potentially Frostbited for 5, which feels terrible, but at least then you have you can kind of try and develop board that way and just kind of prevent the lethal. I'm not sure if it prevented it regardless, honestly.
I think that turn it could have been enough, but just like using the hammer when you're frozen it's just too slow. And unfortunately, I think that those frostbites were tough and definitely gave Super Murloc a leg up, but I think Kuru just tried to get a little bit too greedy and held on to those spells too long. But
yeah,
now we see the Hunter and the Warrior. And looking at this matchup so far, I have to say Super Murloc's deck is probably a bit of a leg up on Kuru once again. To the front. Double scamp start.
This is Charge Warrior, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, I don't really know how I don't know too much about some of these more obscure, like kind of newer deck matchups, like Charge Warrior matchups, but I know how the deck works.
Yes, and I think the thing to keep in mind here is that Super Murloc is less worried about the win condition and more worried about just clearing the board. And guess what? There's a board clear here already if Super Murloc would like it. With Frozen Buckler and Shield Shatter.
He didn't take it, but he opted for the Harbor Scamp here.
Yeah, and I think we'll see the board clear just next turn though, because Kuru doesn't have a choice. He has to go all in here and do everything that he can to just pressure Super Murloc.
Yeah. The Rifle, if there's no clear this turn, then Rifle can potentially cause some issues.
Yes, with Ice Trap, but the coin once again can just check that.
Agreed, you're right, yeah.
I think I just would take the board clear here if I were in Super Murloc's shoes.
Yeah, I would as well. I'm gaining I still have the 5 armor.
There's their weak point.
So I think it's hovering over Frozen Buckler, probably just looking at it. In conjunction with the Shield Shatter, I think it's the best possible. It's the best play here. I mean, you could potentially use coin here as well if you really want to, but
yeah, I think that saving the coin.
I think holding coin is very good here.
Yes, I agree. And we see the Shield Shatter, and
probably just gonna see a pass.
Yeah,
there we go.
Now it's tough. See the Rifle. I think that maybe playing the other cards and weaving in a hero power to maximize damage might have had to have been the play. Mm-hmm. And this Ice Trap is just not going to do what it has to.
No, Harbor Scamp coming out here just to draw another pirate, draw a second Stonewall Anchorman, which now the Hunter can just start hero powering essentially when they like. The Wrangler is not bad at all. Rhino is a bit bigger. It will be over the damage of a second. It'll be over the damage of a second Shield Shatter. But
Kuru opts not to protect his minion, but Pack Tactics is quite a pickup.
Yeah, this could. I think that we're not seeing a lot of points of combo coming into the hand.
Yeah, I think Super Murloc plays around the pack tactics. And I think we'll just probably have to see the Anchorman come down.
Yep.
And in this matchup, though, I think the combo is almost entirely irrelevant.
I agree. It's all about removing the board.
Yes.
Oh, we're gonna see coin. We're gonna coin out the We're gonna try and coin out. Yeah, but we're gonna not be able to do it.
Yep. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Doggy biscuit.
Biscuit's pretty nice here.
Yeah.
Makes a minion pretty big, and it protects it against. It notably protects it against, minefield.
Yeah. Any chance Super Murlocs get a coerce in there?
I don't know the deck lists that well, so I can't make that. I can't definitively make that call. But it's looking not amazing for him. Frozen Buckler is a good pickup, but there's no shield shatter with it.
Well, there is a shield. There is a shield slam, and
right.
minefield Buckler shield slam looks pretty good.
Yeah, you're right. I didn't quite take that line into my considerations, unfortunately. But he does see it. Unlike me, he sees the play, takes the line.
I will tell you that this matchup is almost impossible for the Hunter.
Okay.
If the Warrior doesn't brick, and it looks like Super Murloc really has not. He's just,
he hasn't bricked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rhino here is a little bit sad because it just gets eaten by Super Murloc's own Rhino.
Yeah, you're right.
And Kuro will elect to hold it.
Anchorman will come out.
Yep. Rancor is pretty nice.
It is. Yeah, we're not even going to bother seeing the Anchorman because Rancor clears the board, gives 4 armor, and add a hero power in there, and that's an extra 2. So, Hunter is now in a very bad spot, and it's just a matter of, because it's just going to end up being out of resources eventually.
Yeah.
So
I know. Notably, though, the Warrior is through most of their armor gain except Rokara.
Yeah.
So if Super Murloc gets a little bit greedy and plays a minion that can get eaten by this Rhino, there's a chance that Barack Kodobane could give Kuro Finway just one last chance.
I agree.
I need a plan.
But I think that in this spot, I would actually love for Super Murloc to just go to the front and play the minions when he can. But
we're going to see him after swinging the weapon, equipping the other weapon, just getting that chunk damage in.
Oh, no. This is... Kuro doesn't take the bait, though. That ramming mount is more of a liability than an asset.
Ooh, Headmaster KT.
Headmaster Kel'Thuzad and Lord Barov with Provoke is one of the nastiest things that this deck can do.
That's true.
Did you know that the Barov Death Rattle still is part of the Provoke for the spell burst? So you get everything. It's just so powerful.
So powerful.
Right?
Yes, I've definitely witnessed a few of those combos. I guess we're just not gonna play anything. As the Hunter, I think this does give opportunity potentially just for out of hand damage, because there's a lot of out of hand damage, and even though it's your hero powering for 2 health for 2 damage, like Kuro can just kind of almost wait at this point. The issue is the only big issue for him is that the hero power from Super Murloc essentially eliminates, just cancels out any hero power.
Exactly.
That comes out, and if they're at 18 and the combo probably doesn't need that much mana now to actually work. Doesn't even throw the coin out here. Eventually, I think we'll probably just see the coin recycled for hand space. Potentially.
Yeah, definitely. But here, looks like another Rancor setup is looking very good.
Definitely.
But yeah, just use the weapon to face tank that last pit, or you can even just use a shield slam if you want to preserve.
I think I'd like to draw, so I think hitting is good here.
I agree.
Yeah.
Just get a little closer to Rokara, and there she is.
Yeah, we're actually gonna see KT plus Rancor, which will get the board for
Yeah.
for
I actually
for-
don't like this choice very much. It leaves a big hit in for the Rhino. And oh, is this... How much damage is this? This is 6 damage? Oh, it's 1 off. Are you kidding?
one off lethal.
Oh.
One off lethal.
Oh my god.
And Rokara coming in.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Poor Kuru. This is such a hard matchup, and
He's so
to be
close.
so close yet so far.
Yeah. He's gonna play it. I mean, there is a chance that obviously
Yeah.
there is a chance that it's not fully dealt with, but it's gonna get dealt with. Like the main issue as long as
Rokara,
he
heavy.
plays heavy plate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, and then we're just a little bit shy of lethal here. Next turn it's set up though.
Yeah.
But
It's-
face taking that hit, there's no way.
Like
Looks like
honestly, I respect just how close the Hunter got that game.
yeah. I think that Super Murloc could have done a few things to keep his life total a little bit higher, but you know,
I agree.
he never went into the danger zone and was able to take the win. And you know, tough game for Kuru, but I will have to say I'll give my teammate props for playing to his outs and sticking
Yeah.
that one out.
Now Super Murloc has to get this mage through, and you know, depending on the decks, we'll see how Kuru's lines up into this mage and what type of mage it is. It was ping mage last week, so we'll see if it's the same.
All right,
It looks like
is
it's the same.
The ping mage versus the face hunter. I know that this one's gone back and forth, but
I know.
I think that since Zako's version of ping mage became popular, the matchup has actually been pretty close to even.
Yeah.
But that's a very strong start from Kuru. Adorable Infestation on turn 1 is quietly one of the best cards you can have in all of Hearthstone at that point in the game.
Yeah, and especially because we see Doggy Biscuit on 2, which is, you know, there's no way really for Super Murloc to deal with it other than just freezing it.
Precisely.
And doesn't even have to put it on the frozen minion. Could just put it on the 1/1.
Yes, and use that to clear off the 2/3 and then just
Yeah.
take command on the board, which is a play I really like.
Looks like we're gonna see. Looks like we're gonna opt for a wider board here.
Mhm.
I'm a bit less happy about this line because of Reckless Apprentice being just something that would essentially wipe most of this board. I think we'll see probably Arcane plus Doggy Biscuit next turn, second Arcane.
Yeah.
But Ruined Orb picked up, gonna be used on the Divine Shield.
Finds of Primordial Studies. That is a good one.
That's a good card, and you can play it this turn. But we're gonna opt for
Oh, the mirror.
a mirror entity. So,
Right.
not exactly what I would have picked, but I mean, just because of how many little tiny minions there are in the deck, I think is what gives me hesitancy to pick that. But hey,
Yeah. Kuru's
you know-
gonna miss some damage to invest on this bit in this minion.
yeah,
See if that pays off.
it might. I think it's just gonna get. It looks like it'll just get frozen this turn.
Right.
By
Brain freeze.
brain freeze.
Yep.
But after that, there really isn't. Pending next top deck, it'll eventually get to hit damage in. You could possibly protect it.
Oh,
I don't think
man.
there's much of a reason to, but you could probably
Well-
just use the.
Well, I liked hitting the Wolpertinger, but
Yeah, I did
you know,
too.
this works too. Stop the board lock.
Mhm.
Leave Barak.
Eric,
But-
yeah.
We'll see how Super Murloc responds, and Shivering Sorceress isn't bad here.
No, but now it's not great.
Yeah, after using the spell.
Yeah, opts to not take off, opts to not ping off. There. Oh, I mean, obviously Kodo Bane's a really nice play here.
Yeah, were you thinking the piercing shot?
I was thinking of getting the Arcane Anomaly to 2 health. Because now, because Reckless Apprentice would still be very difficult to deal with, and there'd be a lot less health because the piercing shot doesn't activate, obviously, the ice barrier.
Right.
But it's
fair to assume that Super Murloc doesn't have it at this point.
For sure. I think he would have played it, obviously, already.
Mm-hmm.
I've been burned by not respecting plays like that, and then it gets top decked and you're sad. But yeah, it gets drawn, but just a little bit late.
Still can clear the 4-1 notably though.
Definitely can clear the 4-1, so you'll definitely take that.
Oh well, the freeze is good too, but now a spell is a big punish.
Hold on, I need to calc. 3 foot. You got 4.
It's not.
No,
lethal
it's not
yet.
gonna be lethal yet.
All right, we'll see the Intrepid.
The Demon Companion.
Yep, and all these things are at 2 health.
Yeah.
So we'll see if Super Murloc could just rip that wildfire, but even then, this is
no, he's
we
in
have 10 damage out of hand. It's over.
He's died. Yeah, he's dead. This hunter's gonna get through.
But he did find the wildfire.
Agreed, he did. His Mordrish is now active. But we do see there's one over lethal in hand with aim shot plus quick shot.
And then there's still 1 minion on the board.
Yeah. So he could just attack and play and then just play the aim shot hero power.
Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah, there's any number of ways to get lethal here. It just depends on which way you pick.
Yeah, so the question is now though, like how are these we've seen Kuru's Shaman. How do we think that this mage lines up against the rest of the lineup with the Shaman and the Priest?
It depends. I think it's gonna come down to the priest deck. What type of priest it is. How it's gonna play into the mage. I don't know matchups for mage versus priest off the top of my head. If it's an aggro, I don't know because it's a ping mage. Like if it's Mozaki, you just kind of want something like aggro Shadow Priest to just go and hit him in the face. But we'll see.
Well, great opening hand here from Super Murloc, but great opening hand from Kuru as well.
Yeah,
I think though that just being able to go Shivering Sorceress into Wildfire on turn 1 is so powerful.
Yeah,
I feel like Kuru being on the play makes me favor his position just a little more, but all right. We see exactly the Sorceress Wildfire. Could hold it too. That's what Super Murloc elects to do.
I guess it's fine. You're not worried about your opponent frostbiting their own minion to prevent you from doing that.
Yeah.
That would be a bit too much. This is not terrible for the mage. They'll be able to do some good clearing.
The coin next turn into the Reckless is pretty good into that Sleep Breaker.
Definitely. You want him. I would just essentially just remove the highest attacking minion because this mage at least for this little portion wants to be playing kind of the controller.
I also think that in this position you can make the greedy play and hit into both Vapors. Trade 2 damage for full clear next turn. I think that
I like that. Yeah. You're right. You play for the full clear, because there's nothing like your opponent can play something with 3. Can play something with 3, but it's now they do have a 3/1 that lives, and you just have to hope they don't get a minion next turn.
Yeah, Dawn Grasp is a nice pickup. But no Frostspell for Snowblind Harpy.
Yeah, notably.
And then we'll see, at this point, Mordrish is online.
Yeah, Mordrish just has to get drawn for 10 damage on the turn. That's a nice pickup. I like it's something you
I think
definitely
you have to go.
definitely
want
want to play it. Yeah.
Then you just go face.
Yep.
And hope.
Yeah.
Brain freeze is nice.
so nice.
Oh, so perfect.
Oh.
Gain 5, freeze something. But Super Murloc does have a gap for the next couple turns.
He does. You're right. He doesn't have any immediately active plays, and Kuru can draw, and being able to have those extra draws is very nice.
Lots of them.
There's 3 draws, but we're probably gonna still see the 5/4 because it's active. I would like to see it. Obviously, I think removing the 3/4, making it a 0/1 is nice. You can just freeze the 3/1 here. Definitely a good play. Kuru's clawing his way back in, and Ice Revenant would be.
That's huge.
That's a big
that's
pickup.
a humongous minion.
That is a humongous minion next turn.
Yeah,
and even though the 4/1 gets removed here, and you probably just go Mana Feeder. I mean you can argue between Mana Feeder and Star Scryer immediate value versus whatever, but this Ice Revenant is huge.
Ooh,
And
that's
Frostbite
that's
you got it.
Frostbite can come in too.
Yeah,
Kuru's gonna get his revenge.
definitely. I'm a big proponent of that Frostbite because of the fact that you guess
Oh no, Kuru!
Wow.
Come on.
Wow.
I'll admit it. At this point, I am.
No, go ahead.
I am full on Homer.
Go ahead.
This is my teammate.
No,
He's
root for
hitting
your
his
teammate.
draw.
Root for your teammate.
I am
Oh,
happy to see it, but oh no, this
the Devo did.
devolving will be online, but this freeze into the Baron is so strong.
Freeze into Baron, so nice. You can. Yeah, you're. Fine.
Oh no, he's gonna go for the Gyre Worm, but okay.
Why? Is he going? Interesting.
All right. What do we see here off
He's
the draw?
greeting. He's greeting for that. He was. You didn't even have to really greet
I
for
think
that
he
last
wants
draw.
to. I think he must be worried about Mordrish, but
It's Mordrish is in 2 turns, and you can kill if you. I think there's a chance you could kill if you just play the Baron there.
I agree completely. He would have had 4 summons, I think.
I think so. Yeah, that would have been 4 summons. Yeah.
And
Now Baron like isn't amazing. I don't know if you just rip the I mean Magus or Dawn Grasp is quite good here. There is multiple arcanes, so they're not guaranteed. Now with this playthrough, we're not even gonna see that. I think it's such an interesting situation. Counterspell, Ignite.
I think I don't even know at this point.
You probably take Ignite, but you don't play it. Because
I think he's going to and try to remove this 5/3, which
yeah. The reason I don't like this is because now you're 50-50ing the fire spell from Dawn Grasp.
right.
So
but I don't even think that hero power is relevant at this point. Oh, Cage Match is still probably better than Baron, but if you fear the Mordrish, and then that Hammer's
good.
The Taunt Totem is kind of putting in the work here.
It is.
Hopefully the hammer doesn't hit it, but denying.
Doesn't.
Oh, Kurt's
It hits the
having
best-
it all go his way.
It hits the best minion.
All right,
Yeah,
this
just
is
play
a
the other.
scrap.
Play another totem. Yeah, this is very tough. The Mordrish is the best answer, and there's no Mordrish. Gonna have to.
Tour Guide's a good pickup.
Tour Guide is a good pickup.
Is it enough?
Gonna rip the Dawn Grasp. It's not. I don't think it's quite enough, right? It
Ignite
doesn't.
goes.
It doesn't play.
Ace. Oh no.
It doesn't play Devo. Okay, it didn't play Wildfire. It played Devo. Okay.
Oh my god, that was a very good Devo though. Oh no. It's still enough. Wait, Tour Guide comes down, has to clear off one of the 2 attack minions. Oh man, this
is a very close game. I think I think the Shaman just gets there eventually.
Right. I don't think Super Murloc can stop this because this is at least 6 damage coming face, and then Baron basically will make Mordrish pop the spider.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if he draws
Frostbite off I was gonna say
second hammer. I was
gonna say Frostbite off the top is
lethal.
Is lethal.
Yep, so he gets in to set to 1 here.
Yep.
And then we'll see the Baron and the hammer.
I would hope so. Yeah, you just take as much as you can get. This prevents.
This is fine too, but
He's
I still think you should play your tempo.
yeah.
Oh, and it hits the egg. That's so brutal, and it is the Mordrish, but
protection.
yeah, the egg comes back. The hammer will just get through though.
Yeah,
I think
hammer.
that-
Yeah, no. The mage essentially needed to get ice barrier to survive. I think ice barrier survives. Maybe it's close from this point because of the extra hit from the damage from the hammer. I think might be just be setting up for more Drish if we're gonna
Yeah.
attack.
because Super
realis-
can clear the board,
Mhm.
but he can't stop that whack-a-mole swing.
Yeah, realistically, could ping off your 3-1 if you want to look for the spell.
Yep.
Finds
It had to
Ignite.
be barrier.
It
though,
had
I
to be
think.
exactly barrier, and I don't even know if that wins the game. Honestly,
It would still keep him at 1,
okay.
but we're gonna keep looking for it.
Second,
Draw Ignite
there's
again.
double ignites. Yeah,
Nope, he's got the
it's-
barrier.
Okay,
So
he's
alive.
He's alive.
nominally alive,
Yes.
but so
Cage match doesn't do much here.
the problem though is now this second hammer swing is pretty fatal.
Yeah, it
You have
kinda
the
is.
egg too to death rattle into more 2-1s. I like the cage match here. Totem's fine
Yeah,
because you're forcing the Mordrish, and then we see multicaster, which I think has to come down instead because Mordrish is no longer enough. Ignite.
Yeah, the ignites, the flurries
Flurry.
doesn't do it. Flurry isn't
And
enough.
that's the wrap. That's it.
Wrap. We're gonna see the honorable hero power on the face.
Well, it wasn't honorable. It was 2 extra damage.
You're right. It was not an honorable kill, but
Well, here we go to game 5.
yeah, here we go. Best words, all of Hearthstone.
Yes.
Game 5. We've got Super Murloc still on the Ping Mage. Karufin Way on Priest. You know what deck it is. I don't, because you are his teammate, so you know his lineup.
Well, I just know it's Quest Priest. I don't know how it changes week to week, but you see, it's gold. He's got it blinged out. This
Oh.
is
Man after my heart, bringing Quest Priest to THL.
well, look at the coin. That's a gold coin.
He has a fully golden Quest Priest? God.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. I will say that the fact that this deck has a lot of healing is quite good for it. Does run the Trap Sorceress in the list.
Yeah, I think that honestly, I have to pick Kuru for this one just because
I don't
if this is the same list that I practiced against right after the patch, then it is very, very greedy. And I don't know if Super Murloc will actually find enough damage to get through all of it.
Yeah. It depends on how many I'm gonna say it depends on how many masks he plays this game essentially. If he gets all his mask damage and he gets a lot of it, and it can potentially get there. It's definitely not like
I'm gonna say it's not
unlosable.
enough.
yeah.
I'm gonna say it's not enough. That he really needs those devolving missiles to
Yeah,
be good.
definitely. I can see that for sure.
But just this is very fat. I think it's double Moarg, double Light Shower Elemental. But
Yeah.
buckle up. We're gonna be here a bit.
Yeah, it doesn't HS replay not giving great stats for the quest mage, but I don't know. It just depends on how fast the mage ends up going. I think if the priest can just consistently play 2, like I think you just rip the insight here. Yeah.
Definitely, just keep the quest progressing.
There's
You take your
there's-
trade. Use
there's-
Gift of the Naru after
Yep.
Kuru.
Yeah,
Kuru, come on. Oh no! Oh well. I think the gift there would have been pretty nice,
I
but
agree. Drawing the extra card is nice. Because he has the 4 into the 5, so he's looking pretty good here.
yeah, I think he must be saving the gift for some sort of Xyrella clear.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of greeting a Xyrella clear here because of the fact that I have the spirit guide, so I'm like well on my way to essentially
Yeah,
I'm-
Focus Will's good.
Yeah. Focus Will is actually pretty nice here. You're right.
Yeah, get,
Soul, it's like it's tempting to take Soul Mirror here, but I think I'd rather see Focused Will.
just unfree, thaw out your 3/4. Oh, takes the Soul Mirror.
Yeah, because
Kuru might be getting a little too greedy.
Yeah, because the mask is in hand at this board, and now with the pings and stuff, the clear start coming and everything.
Yes.
So it could get dicey for this priest.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like a decent number of heals we will get to see as a relic clear, because Super Murloc also greeting it. It seems like
Well,
a little
yeah.
bit, potentially a little bit of greeting it, because he's gonna Ice Barrier here, which is fine, but he's also okay. He's just gonna double freeze, which
I think that's spending a lot of resources.
yes.
But now this Zyrella lines up pretty
Yeah.
decently into this.
It does. It leaves a 3-1, but you're not too concerned.
Yeah, it could be worse.
Yeah, and he's drawing and healing to a decent health.
Yeah. And then gets a quest completion.
Yep.
Oh well, it's the extra health for
Oh,
him
you're
as well.
right. You're right. Okay, sorry for healing both
Yes.
heroes. It got 6.
Moonfang. See, it's so greedy.
Doesn't take
Kura
it.
takes the smite.
Yeah, Smite's fine. But yeah,
Yeah, it just seems though like,
I know. Shattering Blast is a really good card here.
well, the problem though is that could come back to haunt him off Varden.
Yes, it's not guaranteed a barrier. But I don't know if you're necessarily concerned about that as much. It's just you're diluting maybe you're diluting specific pools of spell classes. Just gonna rip the mask here,
Yeah.
but
The second mask is
it doesn't
not
even-
enough still.
you're right. He will have enough heal here, but he
Do you
needs
find more?
no
Rally.
Rally is good because I would say Rally is good here because it puts more minions, but Korak coming onto the board as well. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
This is an older list though. I was running a similar list at one point, with Korak and Sorceress. I've personally gone to a slightly different list than this one.
Yes.
I think I'm not the necessarily biggest fan of the fact that he's such low health with like.
Well, he finds a heal.
So that's a heal. That's good. We will.
That mask is looking threatening.
Yes. Needs to.
Wandmaker.
Wandmaker gone. That's not a big deal.
Yeah, Korak can hit the 2/3, and then there's a heal available with the Alec mount. Okay. I'm not sure about this, but
Gift of the Naru. We're gonna see that probably.
well, that first, the smite.
Yeah.
I think I liked Gift into Alec mounts a little better, but
Yeah, I can see that.
oh, could this be another heal? It is. See,
Renew.
Renew's not in the deck. It's
Oh, yeah. See, that's a greedy.
oh no. And there's a Deliverance too.
Yeah, I think you take Deliverance, but Bless is fine if you're gonna try and be, playing it with the Alec mount next turn potentially to deal a lot of damage.
Yep.
Smite here is definitely good. We're just gonna use the Bless right here for a 7/7. I don't mind this at all, but
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I think
I liked your original line of pairing it with the mount, but
it doesn't. It's I think at this point, just needs to keep weaving the hero power every turn. Every turn you need the hero power. Like the quest, getting stuck on 6 is kind of unfortunate. But
I don't know. I don't think Kuru's really counting on that.
yeah,
I think at this point he's just going to win the game by getting a big board and keeping his health above 10.
Mhm.
So I'm guessing here we'll see Alec mount hero power,
yeah.
or even that Zyrella is there too. That's a lot of healing later.
We're gonna see.
Ooh, this seems very risky.
I think he's banking on maybe hitting a Mordrish, but he doesn't see that there was no Mordrish. It's
Is Mordrish online right now? It is, right?
yeah, it should be online. I would hope.
Oh, and that's it. That's a wrap.
No. Mordrish off the top.
I think Kuru definitely
Little punished for not playing the Elec Mount.
Yeah.
Because the Elec Mount would have gotten him above the necessary damage line.
Yeah, I think he missing that tempo trade into Gift of the Naru early just led to so much extra damage for Super Murloc, but that'll do it, and Super Murloc walks away our winner 3-2.
Yep.
Looks like that was a very fast 5-game series.
It was.
All right, is Super Murloc going to be joining us?
Yeah,
or...
he will. He says he has to catch his breath a little bit. But I will be adding him. All right. Hello, Mr. Super Murloc.
Hey, how's it going?
Going well. Going well.
Well played games out there tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch back on those because I don't know. Which was it? The Shaman game. I felt like it was really awkward. I mean, it kind of just went fine. I think that the Frostbites put him in a bad spot. Maybe I'm not sure how many spells he was running, but
he had a handful of them. We could see it from up there.
I kind of thought that might have been the case because it just seemed like a strange game. I don't know. That one I'm looking forward to watching that one back and seeing like what maybe I could have done differently. But I know those Frostbites kind of probably won me the game, honestly.
Well, you turned off a Wild Paw Cavern and really got ahead, so I think that came in pretty clutch.
Yeah, that was that kind of did it for me. I think the hand felt weird, and I don't know. I didn't like the way that game felt, but I mean, it kind of just when it started going well, it just kind of ran with it. It went really well.
For sure.
Just kind of started weird, and I don't know. I felt weird about it, but no, it was some fun games. I was man, just me and this mage. I don't know. It's my favorite deck to play, and yet it's the one that that people beat up on and pushed me to 5 games. So.
Yeah. For sure.
So I have to ask, of those decks, is there any that you consider yourself a specialist on? I know that the Ping Mage isn't always the most popular bring, but I've heard that, you've brought it last week and this week, and you seem to have some good success with it.
It's all I've been playing lately, and it's probably why I haven't hit Legend yet. It's kind of it's doing all right for me. Like there's times where you win those games that you're just like super unfavored in, and those always feel good. I'm having a lot of fun playing that deck, and if there was one that you want to throw that specialist word out there, like. Yeah, if you see me as your opponent, you probably can expect Ping Mage. So, I don't know. It's a fun deck. I really enjoy playing it right now. But I might have to switch things up just to not be so predictable.
Yeah, I think honestly, the only thing that was a little bit sad is that we saw both of you, but we never got to really see that big Baron Glacier. Yeah, I think both of you had that in your list.
Yeah, there were. Yeah, I had it, and there was. I really wanted to play it in that game, but it didn't feel like there was a spot for me to. Maybe earlier on, I think that when it got up to 3, there was just never board space again for me to play it. So, but yeah, that's a fun card. I earlier on, I was playing a lot of Shaman, and I really liked dropping that card, but. Haven't gotten to play it so much lately, and it was just there waiting to be dropped, but no.
Yep, just didn't quite line up.
No, I don't think it did. Like I said, I want to rewatch that Shaman game. I feel weird about it.
Yeah, I of all the mirrors I've seen. Yeah. I was not expecting it to be aggro freeze shaman or elemental freeze shaman.
Yeah, so what I was going for was I was I was expecting to see the priest sooner. I had kind of like studied up on what he had been bringing, and the most reliable thing was that priest was like, it seems like one of his favorites. And so everything that I did, just from like my class springs to even the decks that I chose, it was just like all targeting the priest. But I was surprised that he was playing quest priest. I expected it to be the shadow priest. Luckily, he it didn't really matter, because like that quest priest would have been, I don't know if maybe it would have been a problem for the charge warrior. I'm not sure. I think it would have been.
Well, Kura Finway's a teammate of mine, and I don't know if you noticed in that game 5, but that coin and all those cards are gold. That's his.
Oh,
his
I did. I didn't notice it, but like now that you say it, I definitely did. Like yeah. I know that was gold.
Yeah.
So that's his thing, huh?
Yep. If Ping Mage is your thing, his is Quest Priest.
I gotcha. Yeah. I didn't know it was Quest Priest, but I saw the priest was there regularly, and so I assumed that it was Shadow just because of like how well that deck has been running. But yeah, now I know that. I'm kind of glad that he didn't play it sooner, because
Definitely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. So on that warrior, I think that game against the hunter, were you sweating it out a little bit when you went down to 1?
What I actually counted that, because I knew that when I played that Kel'Thuzad, I knew he was like playing off the top of his deck, and I said, all right, so he can deal 6 with the Rhino, and then he could deal another 7. And I knew that I had like just drawn Rakar and everything, so I was actually counting on that happening. So because it was like worst case scenarios, he has that card, and it's like I couldn't really think of a way that he gets the. I guess if he had the that other spell where he can draw a card, that could have been a way that he could have won. But yeah, that was that was close. That was a weird game, just sitting there hero powering the whole time for like a 2, 3, maybe 4 turns. Just weird game, but
yeah, I know it.
That's just how you have to play when you know that he's got a Rhino in his hand. You can't really put anything down. I guess dropping one of those Anchormen would have been better than leaving a 1/1 out there for him to eventually hit. But
yeah, I know. Personally, I thought you were that he was going to slap that ramming mount on the Rhino, and you were just going to steal it with Faceless Manipulator.
That would have definitely been a consideration if we got down to that. It started to feel like where he doesn't have much left, so you don't really need your combo to win in that game. I mean, it's fun and everybody likes dealing 36 damage in a turn, but it was not necessary. So yeah, if that happened, absolutely that would have been the play. So
yeah, but you got to do my favorite thing in Hearthstone, which is sit back, press your button, and enjoy your time.
Yeah, it's a really if you're gonna play that deck, you have to know in those matchups when you need to be patient. If I had a way to get rid of that Rhino, I would have dropped the Anchorman to let him play it, but there was nothing there besides me taking like 7 damage to the face or something. It's like, yeah, just sitting and waiting and getting the right cards, and then all the armor came at once. The Rokara and the heavy armor is like, okay, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so I know that I still have my game to play, but so far this brings you guys right back into our match this week.
Yeah,
still hopeful.
Yeah, there was a sweep earlier, but now we're right back there. So
yeah,
we'll see what the rest bring.
Gosh, this is a close match again.
Yep, everyone is just in that playoff soup right now, fighting for that 4th spot, just bunched up in there.
It's fun. It's fun that way. I'm looking forward to watching some more matches on the stream and seeing how it all plays out. It's a lot more fun after you've won your match. It's like, all right, I did what I can do. Let me just sit back and enjoy the game now.
Yep, absolutely. All right.
Well, thank you so much for playing on stream, and congratulations on winning. And
yeah, anytime. I'm happy to fill the slot if y'all will have me. So
awesome.
Definitely will. Super Murloc, thanks again.
Thank you, man.
All right, y'all have a good night.
You as well.
You too.
Sir.
Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 matches down, 1 more to go. We've got definitely a match that I'm so happy to get to cast. It's 2 great friends in THL going at it. And we have Donde versus the Big Ted. which is Hot Zills versus Hearthstone Academy. These two are hero teammates, and now they face in Legacy. It's a trend I've noticed in THL quite a lot. So yeah, we have the players have been on a roll with being prepared for tonight. We have bans in already, and we're not seeing Druid this time. Seeing a double Druid ban for the players. So yeah.
So what do we think of a double Druid ban then?
I
feel like
don't really know. I'm not sure. I don't. It tells me that there's there's no owl. There's probably not an owl lock in the Warlock situation, because I feel like you would want to leave an aggressive deck, but I don't think you'd bring owl into these specific classes anyways. So probably 2 hand locks, I would guess. And I'm interested in these shaman brings. I think shaman's like a pretty flexible. It's because it's so flexible. There's a couple lines you could take.
Definitely.
So,
and Donde and Big Ted are on the same lineup, and it's so interesting because Shaman, Demon Hunter, and Warlock actually all do pretty well against Druid for the most part. I think that if they're teammates in their other leagues and they're prepped together, maybe there's a chance that they're both expecting Ramp Druid and that their Shaman and Demon Hunter might not be equipped for that, but a lot of possibilities.
Yeah, definitely. So, we're all ready on our end, and we're raring to go, and we're kind of getting later and later into the cast. So let's go ahead and not let these players wait any longer. Gonna send them into the match. First to spectate will be Donde. Second to spectate will be the Big Ted. Love both of these guys. So I'm super excited for this. All right. I wonder how many mirrors we're gonna see in this matchup, since we have 3 mirrored classes. I have played fully mirrored classes and not had a single mirror. It was amazing. I was so surprised.
I wonder if they have the same 120.
That would be so funny.
But yeah. I bet we're gonna see a mirror right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be my prediction. I'll go against the grain here, and I'm gonna guess that we're gonna see Demon Hunter mirror. That'll be my guess.
Yeah, well, my my setup on stream says that. Not 100. It would obviously be great if that happened. So yeah, both players. I have a group chat with them. Both players wishing each other good luck, and we will get ourselves into game 1 once they decide what to lead. Yeah. Oh. Oh, looks like Donde didn't turn spectate on. Spectate. There we go.
Let's hop in.
Awesome.
And it is Big Ted on Demon Hunter against Donde's Warlock. Oof.
All right, Donde.
That is a skull on the left for the Big Ted.
All right. We do get the Demon Hunter out of Ted, but we get a Warlock from Donde.
Yep. Looks like it's just Quest Warlock for Donde, and Big Ted appears to be on Fell Demon Hunter, but not the Quest variety.
Gotcha. All right. Go ahead and get Ted's hand on the screen here.
Yep. And, well, that was interesting how that played out. See, Donde has the Altar of Fire, which could be pretty huge here. If that can get a Jace or a Kurtrus, could put the Big Ted in a hard spot.
Big agree there.
All right. So looking here, Donde has backfire now. And with this position, one of the lines that he can take that I think we called out in the first game is electing to use the coin with tour guide on the backfire turn. Instead, though, Donde just backfires right away. Bit of a tough line, makes the lifesteal a little bit harder to come by later in the game, although it does keep the hand open. So we'll see. Big Ted looks like he's cruising right into a Fellgorger on curve. Set up a Skull on the left for turn 6, and maybe want to use some removal on 5. Donde, though, just doesn't really have any clean threats to line up. The Tour Guide here into the tap. Well, Unstable Shadow Blasts is a good line. Get that self-damage going. Discount those Flesh Giants. Oof. And already they're down to 6. All right. Fellgorger draws Fell Barrage. Could see that paired with Talented Arcanist for some reach later. For now, though, Drain Soul looks like an excellent play for Donde here. Sets up even more discounts on the Flesh Giants, and if you just Drain Soul tap, you're in a very strong spot if you have Donde's hand. So I think that's the line we'll see.
I think you're pretty correct there. Alternatively, we could see tap Null, but I think Drain Soul with that is pretty solid. Just like you said, to get the ticks down on the Flesh Giant.
Right, and they're close. If he does that line, they'll be at 4 already. So be able to play both of them very soon. Let's see, Raise Dead for just Tour Guide.
Okay, looks like he
Flesh Giant to 5. It looks like with this line, Donde is going to miss a tap if he plays the Null here. Up just goes for the Slinger to put as much board pressure on as possible.
Okay.
I don't love this push from Donde just because turn 6 is generally the turn where you want to pressure the Demon Hunter, not turn 5. Because this gives the Big Ted some time to empty his hand, use his removal, and then just set up that Skull.
He just drew a Leech, so it's very, very likely, yeah, that now the Demon Hunter go back to full. Donde has nothing in hand here, and or he's nothing on board, but he has some stuff in hand. I think probably might lean towards something like Tour Guide tap Flesh Giant.
That's the line I like.
You get 2 minions on board. Like, I don't think the Demon Hunter necessarily feels too much. I don't think they're gonna feel. Maybe they might feel a little pressured. I mean, that's with potentially a lot of damage coming in next turn. After you Skull, we'll see what the Skull picks up because there is Mag Theridon in hand. Really just need a good way. Really just need a good way to clear off the Arcanist. It really needs to maybe something like an Arcanist or an Immolation Aura.
Yeah. Well, those are pretty good.
Those are pretty good indeed.
I think we'll just probably see a Fell Barrage here, maybe, or a Fury.
We're gonna see Fury go face.
He's pointing at face.
Ted is just trying to drop
close the door
Donde as fast as possible to 0 health.
If Donde taps, though, I think he's in a really commanding spot.
Yeah, because when he taps, he completes, right? Yeah.
Yeah, tap to complete. You also could backfire here. Backfire, tap, Flesh Giant, and you're just 1 mana off Scavenger. It's a little awkward for Donde.
Yeah. I don't generally like going that far over my quest completion. I can understand the line of because
tap backfire only goes 1 over and then gets you to your next stage.
Yeah, you're right. Tap goes 1 over. Yeah. The line.
And then we get the Flesh Giant discount.
Yeah.
2 backfire will discount it to 1. You could develop that. but you are getting a little bit low.
Uh,
See the altar.
the altar here is fine, I think, because she's going to play Flesh Giant. And if you can remove...
Kurtrus. Oh, no.
Kurtrus Demon Render has been eliminated. But Mag Theridon can come in.
Mag Theridon's a clear now.
Mag is a clear. And there's no direct... but there is...
Donde has a clear, but
a-
he's 1 mana short.
Is he? Yes.
Yep.
Yes, because he can't Tamsin Drain Soul. Tamsin Drain Soul, Drain Soul.
Yeah. I like weaving in the damage here. I think Big Ted probably will go for the hero power.
Yeah, I don't think it necessarily matters too much either way. I think that this Demon Hunter has definitely done a lot of work here. 0 mana Fell Barrage as well. Just gonna put Donde
Big
down.
Ted's bluffing. I think he's bluffing or representing Jace.
Okay. Yeah, he's
Because I think that
he's bluffing at Jace, I guess, or he's just saying I can top deck Jace and have a chance to win here. So, you know,
because I think
this is definitely a good. I think this line is pretty okay.
Yeah, I think though, just like unless you have Jace exactly next turn,
probably want to save some of it, right?
Yeah, you're losing a damage. Could be setting up Skull though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see.
Definitely.
I think though that Donde kind of is in a real hard spot.
He's definitely not in the best spot, and notably Expendable. I don't think Expendables actually saves. Expendables doesn't necessarily save him here either.
Well,
Or sorry, Scavenger doesn't necessarily save because of the Expendables being able to clear everything, allowing Mag Theridon to go face.
right. I just don't know how he's supposed to get through this. Because if the Mag Theridon connects, which it's doing right now, then this game's done.
Well, he has to play the Drain Soul to get out of range of dying. No.
Yep, Donde is heading home from game 1.
Game 1 goes to Ted. He can just Chaos Leech and face tank if he likes, but he's gonna opt to do it with Chaos Leech plus Fellscream Blast to take game 1.
Big Ted missed a point of healing there at the end. Uh-oh.
Spaghetti-o. Well, you know, couple of different lines here and there from Donde might have given him a better chance. Like, just the Demon Hunter had so much damage coming through Skull there. Even with the burning the Kurtrus, it didn't matter.
Yeah.
Because the Mag Theridon picking up the way to clear with Mag, that's such a key component of the Demon Hunter versus a Fell DH versus Quest Handlock is like Mag Theridon is such a huge swing potential.
Absolutely.
Because it takes so much. It just takes so much resources to clear, essentially.
It does, and it's one of the only things in the Demon Hunter's arsenal that can get through those big flesh giants.
Yeah. So now let's see how these players opt to what decks they opt to bring out. If Donde goes back to the Warlock, or if he opts to go for maybe his own Demon Hunter, something like that. And these shamans, I'm so interested as to what these shamans are with Ted's Demon Hunter getting through. Maybe if Donde has something like it just depends on the brings. Like Doomhammer Shaman into Warlock is such a strong bring.
Yes.
But it's just a matter of, you know, have they decided to go with that type of route, or is it just or I think if you're leaving up the Warlock, then it's just a weird position for the Shaman. Alright, so we do have double Warlock for game 2.
Yes.
Ted on his own Quest deck.
Yeah.
It's very likely handlock, but there have been like fatigue locks. I guess I'm gonna say it's probably just a handlock though.
And that's what it looks like here with the Baron Scavenger coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. So I think we'll just see Quest on turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I've actually come to favor using the tour guide on 1 when I'm on the coin in this matchup. I think that getting that card deeper and progressing my quest that just little bit extra that I couldn't is really nice. But Donde elects to just take it slow, save his coin and go for the quest on 2.
Yeah,
Or go for the tap on 2, excuse me.
gotcha, for sure. We have Backfire coming down for Big Ted here on turn 3.
Yep.
Meanwhile,
And,
Donde looks like he's going to go for Tap Tour Guide.
Yeah, and I think Altar of Fire is a bit of an awkward draw for Ted, because when you are ahead in the card draw race, you don't want to really give your opponent some extra legs in getting to 10.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Another Backfire. I think, honestly, there's reason to think about overdrawing here if you're Ted. Just race. Second Backfire is such a huge... Oh, but a Nethron...
Probably a Netherin Tour Guide, potentially.
Yeah, I think that's my preferred line. Slinger to protect from Null is reasonable too.
As well, yeah. That's definitely a reasonable line.
Yeah, I think might need to see the Tamsin here early from Donde to clear the Sinethron and progress the Flesh Giant.
Definitely.
One of the things I really enjoy about this mirror is that both players are essentially trying to complete 2 quests. One of them is the self damage, and one of them is the Flesh Giant progression. And I think that looking at this, each player is really just ahead in one. Big Ted is making the moves on completing the actual quest, and Donde looks far closer to getting these Flesh Giants down early.
Definitely.
But Big Ted has the Tamsin Soul Rend ready for that turn, so see if Donde has the Cult Neophyte to stop that.
Raise is pretty big here for Ted. He can get an Netherin back here.
Yeah. I think I might have... I don't know. I don't know about leaving Tamsin up. That's very scary. And Donde has the full punish with Unstable Shadow Blast in hand. This is so bad for Big Ted. If Donde can get these Flesh Giants down this turn, we can see tap, complete the stage of the quest. Flesh Giants cost 3. Yeah, Donde can play both Flesh Giants.
It's crazy, right?
If he sees the line. And I don't think he did.
I think he could have saved the Slinger.
Because he could have actually used the Tamsin to damage the Anethron after he got back the Unstable Shadow Blast. Because he could have used Shadow Blast on the 2-1 first, bump Tamsin, use Shadow Blast again, then raise dead, and both of those Flesh Giants cost 0. Which I think would have won the game for Donde right here. But, oh, no, he still gets it with the quest. All that self-damage. Now, I don't think Big Ted has a response. All right. Bristleback gone. See the tap probably. Patch of the Nasrum. Okay. And Big Ted finds a way.
Yeah.
Even through the Battle Master. But that Altar of Fire can clear off the 6/6 with the Bristleback.
Yeah.
Donde still has the tap available. Soul Rend. That's an interesting find. All right. That Altar of Fire does not hit anything too consequential.
Yeah.
See the bristleback here.
Obviously, I never miss.
And now we get the big swing turn from Ted.
You get accustomed to the smell.
Yeah. With Tamsin Ren to remove everything. It does
Yes.
take out it will take out the rest of Ted's deck though.
Well, I don't think Ted's particularly upset about that, but
Yeah, I think so too. He'll be able to play his Giants here, and that'll be a big problem for Donde.
yeah. Well,
Does it not for the line? He did pick up the pickup of the other bristleback is pretty good here. Removes this
Yeah.
removes the
Accustomed to the smell.
I think he's still dead though. Let's see.
I don't know. I'm not sure. He doesn't. Donde doesn't complete next quest stage to deal the. Oh, it would be Tamsin anyways. He's already got the other two.
Yeah.
I
I think though that we're probably going to see something of a clear here from Donde.
probably.
Put some pressure on.
Hmm.
I think Big Ted gets out of this barely because I think the best line I can see for Donde only does 16 damage. So
Yeah, the 16 damage, and then yeah, it's
and then Donde would of course not survive.
yes.
So
Agreed.
see, we'll see here. I think Donde is going to try to look for some sort of out off the top.
If you're gonna do that, you might as well just backfire if you're gonna do that, I guess. Yeah, Null
Yeah.
is not enough. That's not enough. Yeah, he's just
I think he's priced into Soul Rend.
yeah.
And get your damage in here, and then Soul Rend again, and we don't need decks where we're going.
Nope.
Donde notably still has a backfire available though.
Mm-hmm. So when he goes into fatigue next turn, he'll be able to play that. I'm not sure he can.
He still can't do it all at once. He's still just a
No,
little bit off.
Yeah, but you would be able to do that plus Tour Guide. You'd be able to play Tamsin plus Tour Guide and kind of set it up.
Right.
With the removal of all the giants, Donde was able to put himself in a position to win.
Yes. So we'll see if he can maintain this setup.
Mhm.
We probably have a tap here. I would guess it would be tap Tamsin Tour Guide.
That's the line I like. Does you leave a free?
Well, I guess he doesn't really. Well, maybe he should.
What
play
am
Tamsin.
I missing from this line? That is.
So Donde would take 4 damage to go to 17, and Battlegrounds Battlemaster would make Donde face 11.
Oh, okay.
So I think that what Donde is trying to do here is set it up so that he takes the 2 damage naturally in his draw step, and then can go Tour Guide tap backfire for lethal.
Okay.
I think that this is his setup.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good setup. I think Ted recognizes it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he cannot get to his own Tamsin here, so
Mm-hmm. And Ted has 1 card left.
Strike harder.
And what do we see? But another Knoll. And I think that Donde has lethal here, and I think that Donde has lined it up.
mhm. Yeah, he definitely played around the specific damage calculation.
Yes.
All right.
I think both lines though were effectively the same. I don't think Donde could have really lost from that position that turn as long as took one of those approaches.
Mhm.
And down goes the Big Ted.
Yep. Donde takes mirror number 1.
So I think that from this spot, I actually, without knowing the rest of the decks, I feel like I favored Donde's overall position in the match a little bit more. I think that
I
the
agree.
Warlock looks like it's tougher to get through than the Demon Hunter.
Yep.
We'll see. We'll see if maybe that Shaman deck proves me wrong there.
Yeah. Like, to me, if you're not banning the Warlock as Shaman, then you have to be planning. Then you have to have planned for Quest Lock, which tells me it's probably Doomhammer Shaman,
Or Burn.
Or
Burn is also.
You're right. Burn Shaman can do it as well. I don't know anything about that. I'm glad that you do. Also, thank you shout outs to Turtle, the Mist player, our boy Turtle, for sending us the raid after his stream. Hope it was a good one, buddy. Obviously you'll hear this 10 minutes in the future because of delay, but
yeah. All right. I'm looking here. Seems like Donde has a good matchup to get his own Demon Hunter through.
Yes, the reverse matchup for game 1. He has the Demon Hunter into Warlock. It is looks like it's definitely a Fell DH. It looks like a slightly different build than what we saw out of the Big Ted, because it runs Sigil. It looks like it had the Blood Mage Thalnos in it.
Yeah, so the question is Magtheridon one of the cards that is missing to make room for these tech choices?
You're right. I am wondering about that as well. Ted with not the best start, but at least has a null in there. Showstopper pretty okay as well.
So I'm just gonna see Donde continue to cycle.
Yep, cycle good.
And the combo is in hand. He just needs the Kurtrus.
Definitely, yeah. That is
Big Ted just gonna let it rip. Not with a Netheron, you can't, but that Netheron will come down on turn 5 for 1 mana. Donde finds the Kurtrus, so
there is, like, we can see that there's a potential clock here on the Warlock, because the Warlock, just the way that the minions work out, they just play into, essentially they end up playing into the combo because of the fact that Handlock needs to play on board.
Right, and Handlock can only produce, for the most, barring exceptional circumstances, Handlock can only produce 12 health of taunts at a time.
Yes.
I grow impatient.
So we'll see now. For this spot, I like just attacking, but if I were Donde, I would really want to save that coin to try to get a combo off on turn 8. I think that would be what I would be looking towards.
Yeah, I can definitely see it, and I think he can adapt his plan to how Ted is playing the game. Like, he can say, okay, well, maybe I can actually just go for the early Kurtrus, and then I have enough to kind of get me through to turn 8. Or if they're starting to get the minions out, oh well, we got to get to turn 8 here. I think the only thing that's really imperative for Donde is to attack every single turn.
Yes. So I like the clear there from Donde. Good use of the Fell Barrage.
Agreed.
And the Kurtrus is just getting closer. And this Netheron will be the first significant pressure that Big Ted will be able to apply.
Yep.
So worth noting, though, that Donde doesn't have a clean answer guaranteed in hand. Arcanist, Chaos Leech. Well, I don't think that went particularly poorly for Donde, but losing the Flesh Giant hurts Big Ted a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
I think we probably will see an Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, never mind. You're good. I think
we might
Eldari's good.
Yeah, might see that looking for Kurtrus to clear this Netheron.
Mhm.
put some board pressure of Donde's own out there.
Yeah.
He's also probably thinking about using Kurtrus here to just clear it. And I think that's what Donde is going to elect to do.
Yeah.
I have given up everything. What have you sacrificed?
So taking this line, Donde does delay his clock by 1 turn.
Yeah.
But I think that seeing the Flesh Giant come off the Altar of Fire, Donde probably can make an informed guess that the Big Ted won't be able to put quite as much pressure into play. Right, that Showstopper's a bit dangerous. Kurtrus Ashfallen.
Yeah, I think Kurtrus is a good pick here.
Yep.
Well,
Kurtrus also resets your hero power. So Donde could squeeze a little bit of extra damage here with Kurtrus. So that's why I favor that.
yeah, you're right. See attacks. So I'm gonna offer the draw over the Kurt. I wonder.
So-
I wonder if he wants to leave. I wonder if he like kind of is hoping that Ted can't just clear his own minion. I mean, he could just clear it here. But,
Well, this minion sort of shuts you down because it actually stops the performers. if it's the last one up. So I think
you're
that
right.
if I were Donde, I would like to have it out of the way, but he isn't really in much of a rush.
Does he?
He's 9 cards.
Oh, it makes it so they're no longer rushers, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they still would come back if Donde had a way to clear them, but no keywords.
Mhm.
Okay, we'll see a touch of the Nazarim.
Obviously, I never miss.
And then Big Ted is now just trying to turn on
He does.
his
Smell.
10 or fewer card synergies.
Smell.
Yeah.
Oy.
Um.
is pretty good here. That's he can get that online and play this turn. So I think we'll probably see the Magtheridon play from Donde. Yeah, Immolation Aura and Fellscream, 7
You're
mana.
right. Yeah. You're right. The same thing that Ted did to him.
Yep.
You're right.
And now without a raised dead, the Big Ted has no more taunts.
Yep. And
Although he does have a clean answer.
Yeah, he does. He has double bristleback. So he goes up to. So he actually just goes up to. Goes up 12 extra health here.
Yep. And then we may see the Flesh Giant. Now, at this point, Immolation Aura is very good. We could see Arcanist, Thalnos, Aura to almost wipe this, but I don't think that will be the play. Expendable Performers is just very nice and is a full clear here, but second Altar of Fire could be a problem.
The answer is here.
Yeah, you have to consider maybe second altar. Although he did see almost Ted's entire deck, so he probably only thinks there's one altar of fire. So I don't remember there being 2. So. Huh.
Yeah. I think that even just face tanking here and then just doing a full clear isn't bad.
Yeah.
Or even just leaving this up. Battlegrounds Battlemaster can't kill. Honestly, Donde could just pass.
He
That
wouldn't.
sounds-
He wouldn't be able to kill. He wouldn't be able to do 30, correct? Because of the,
Right. So we'll see Thalnos, Aura. Donde will leave the 8-4 in play.
Yep.
Because, yeah, he would need the discount on the Fury to do the 30.
You could have Kurtrus here. You're Kurt Killers.
Yep, and Kurt does the job. All right. Is there any way here for Big Ted to dig through enough?
He
Okay.
doesn't. I mean, there's just no board, so he's not in much danger other than Donde starts ripping spells and building up juicing juicing up his Jace for now.
Yeah. Yeah, the Null's not bad.
Yeah, and he's gonna be able to remove a lot of stuff. He only has 2 on board, so there's obviously not enough.
Oh, and those Eldrachi Warblades are just
Yeah, Warblades are super nice.
because I think here Donde will just greed the Fury out one more turn.
Yeah,
Or we could just see Fury Jace immediately, but 'cause we've seen 2 Chaos Strikes already.
Yeah.
We've seen 1 Fell Barrage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Donde has nowhere to be.
No,
This is
Would you ever? I think Ripping Skull is arguably his best play.
I like that line. I agree with you. I think that using Skull just to get into your deck, find the last Fell Barrage, find the last Fury,
Yep.
and just set up for Jace in 2 turns is a very good approach.
Yep, because you can always just remove the 5/1 if you want, if you really feel threatened with your Eldraki afterwards. Donde might just isn't gonna greet the Fury here. He's gonna rip Jace actually, so it does clear. Jace, I think, clears almost the entire board. But no,
a little bit of rough ordering there, but
it's okay.
It's
Donde gets the
still-
attack in. That's what kind of
Yeah.
matters.
Well, I think from the look of what he's drawn, that Skull line would have been very good. But
So, yeah, it's not bad. Now it's even less. Now Ted needs is at pretty much even less minions on board. Arcanist,
Arcanist Fell Barrage could be a setup.
yeah, Arcanist Fell Barrage is a lot.
As
I
long
think-
as there are minions on the board, though, that doesn't really work.
Yeah,
out.
but as soon as there's not, Arcanist Fell Barrage, it's very close to lethal. But we're gonna get some touch. We're gonna get lines with Touch of the Nathrazim and Drain Soul to remove the board, which means that that Fell Barrage that does 8, you're not quite lethaling there.
Yeah. Well, the quest is complete.
Felgorger. This Felgorger doesn't change anything because you can't get that extra damage from Ward Blades anyways, and there's the last Fel spell, I'm gonna guess.
Well, wait a minute. Does Big Ted have an out here? Because I think that we're going to see next turn Tamsin into self-touch, self-drain.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to clear his own board with the Soul Rends and touch and Drain Soul.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know if Donde has enough.
It's super close.
Well, oh no, it's it here. That was.
Does he
Fury
have it
off the top.
exactly now?
Yep. No, he's got a little extra.
Oh, okay.
The Fury was the last card. I thought that was another Felgorger.
No, it was a Fury, yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
I think I like Big Ted's line though.
I love
clever
that line.
setup. But the Demon Hunter, as usual, gets through the Quest Warlock.
Yeah.
And
so we've had the same matchup twice. They weren't mirrors, but we've had the same matchup twice, and now Donde has to get this shaman through. We'll see. We might see a shaman mirror here. Honestly, we don't. Ted's just running back the thing. Oh, it's a quest shaman.
it is. So
Okay.
I think Ted might have known something we didn't, but this
Potentially.
matchup definitely is better for the Warlock.
Oh yeah. It's quite good for the Warlock in this matchup. Donde, no wonder hiding the Shaman here because it's a quest Shaman, but I think both players, I wonder, I have a feeling we're going to get a quest Shaman mirror here in the last game.
I think that's likely.
Yeah, for sure.
Come on, coin the tour guide. No. I guess that's just a little too non-traditional. We'll see.
I think Ted's gonna want to coin the backfire next turn. Is the line that is like a line that I like when I play this. Like I'm always like, oh man, coin backfire. I sometimes I miss lines like playing the tour guide earlier and stuff.
Right.
We're gonna
Because if you get coin tour guide, it gets him an extra tap that he wouldn't have access to again, and it gets an early flush discount. And with the backfire in hand, it just lines up so nicely to go turn 1 quest tour guide tap, turn 2 tap, turn 3 backfire.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're
We see the
right.
moccasin from Donde.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting minion. It's got stealth, so it's kind of there.
And I like the tour guide here or the touch. Touch is very good. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cleans up the 3-2, but that moccasin is poisonous now.
Yeah.
That's actually a pretty nice roll for the quest shaman.
It is for sure. Donate doesn't have a lot to do here. I might just hero power and play wind chill on it. It
I
just
like
depends.
that.
It depends on how much you value the wind chills, and I think I value the early cycle that this deck creates. For sure.
I think the other line you could take is Lightning Bloom, Canal Slogger.
Lightning Bloom Slogger to complete quest.
Yeah. And that might be what we're going to see. We'll see what we get off the draw. Yeah, you could just get a lot of quest progression very quickly here.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that at all, but we're gonna.
You could play all 3 cards.
We're gonna opt out of that. We're gonna. Oh, it just gets unfrozen because it did an attack. Of course.
Right.
Okay. Good.
I think I would have liked to have rolled the totem first, but it's not too big a deal either way.
Yeah.
We'll see the probably altar. Not even. Let's see what it's got.
Guidance gone. Lightning Second Bloom and Primordial.
Yeah, I think that's both scavengers and a bristleback though for Big Ted. That's not what you want to see.
Absolutely brutal. For the Big Ted. Those are kind of big things that can be played now. I mean, there is a lot of quest progression here. Potentially just depends on how much you want to how you want to space it essentially. And because obviously double zapper is quite nice, but you probably want to play the bloom before you go into the second part of quest, so that way you're removing more overload, because there's no overdraft that we're going to be playing into, but looks like
well, there could be later. I think that it's not the worst to try to wait this out here and greed out this Fireheart Lightning Bloom for later, but eventually Flesh Giants are going to start dropping, and Done needs to find something to do about that.
Yeah. Giants active, I believe, now, so we could see one come out this turn.
All right, and Done can keep gassing it too.
Yeah.
There's a Nethron. So Donde just goes for the giant. We see a lightning bolt. Do you think Donde is going to bolt the totem?
I feel like you can just even go for some. I guess you could bolt your own minion. That would make it poisonous because you don't. But you could do something like double zapper. But that plays really hard at the soul rend. So I kind of just like bolting the strength totem. And then trading the 3/5 and removing Ted's giant. That way.
It just saves resources for later.
Definitely.
You could opt for like a slogger removal.
True. You could also use slogger. That is as valid as well.
Yep. Donde opts for the slogger. Gonna keep the poisonous minion around.
Yeah.
I think that's also a pretty nice line.
Definitely, it's pretty smart for sure because the Canal Slogger doesn't live, so Ren doesn't do a whole lot. Ted is at 11 cards, so he does actually hit the 10 cards deck mark right now.
Yep.
But he only has one card that is affected by that, which is his one
the Bristleback.
His one Bristleback, yeah, which he has in hand, but can't even target anything except for the 0-2, which then would activate the poisonous, which wouldn't necessarily matter because a 4-5 would be able to remove, it anyways.
So when Netheron comes out, you see the tap, getting these flesh giants a little bit closer.
Definitely, we're gonna see it. The giants here. This is not gonna be the easiest clear for Donde. He's gonna go for. He's gonna rip Fireheart.
It's Fireheart time.
Yeah, definitely.
Snowball fight's not terrible.
I agree.
Storm Strike works, I guess. It does let you clear one off. So
yeah, it does.
Well, it looks like he's mousing the snowball fight.
Mm-hmm.
And we will see the fight. And it's an overdraft. That's a good one. So we can see the bloom here. See some zappers.
Yeah, Bloom Zapper that actually completes the next stage of quests. Or no, well, Bloom's, yeah. You can go Bloom Zapper, and, yeah. And then Overdraft to remove,
Netheron. And then we see a Studies.
Yeah, Studies is nice.
Gives the arcane trigger.
Yep.
But this looks like a good Dreadlich Tamsin.
It does look like a good Dreadlich Tamsin. Is he over? He's gonna play Null first.
Oh, he's gonna hold it.
Okay. He's gonna rend here?
No way.
No, he's just Drain Souling. Okay. He's just gonna Drain Soul in and remove one of the minions with his Null.
Yep. Try to get that Netheron back. Finds it.
Yeah. This is where it can get a little bit tough here for the shaman. We're not that far off of completion of quest.
Yeah.
But there's just too many big minions without. Let's see. If you hit.
Well, he has to take care of one of them.
Yes.
So let's see. Not the best hits. Zapper's really what you're looking for.
Yeah,
there.
you want Zapper there, but like Thalnos is also our Guild Trader. I think also would have been a little okay here because you can kind of set up Perpetual Flame to only have one bad hit.
Yeah, well, Perpetual Flame actually always keeps Donde alive in the spot.
You're right. Yeah, because whatever gets hit, he's able to. Well,
because there are some outcomes that are better than others, but it always keeps you alive.
You're right.
So I think we may see that here.
Yeah.
Then they could take a risk and go for the guidance, but I think that the Perpetual Flame into the Overdraft is probably his safest play.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh, wait a minute. Interesting.
He's hoping that it hits both. It doesn't do anything here. Is that
Donde is dead unless it's Bloom.
Nope, not Bloom.
And that's a wrap.
Yep. Battlegrounds Battlemaster gets there. Yeah. What would I kind of miss like the line that saved him even with the flame.
So if he used Perpetual Flame, he could have traded the Moccasin into the minion that Perpetual Flame stopped on.
Oh, okay.
And Battlegrounds Battlemaster would have been less and Donde was at 30 health and would have taken 28 damage from the Battlegrounds Battlemaster board.
Yeah.
The following turn.
Gotcha. So we are now headed into our third game. We're heading into our second game 5 in a row. Donde on Quest Shaman, Ted on some form of Shaman. We have not seen his Shaman yet. We're going to see it here. Wait,
wasn't Druid the banned class, or do we have a mistake on our end?
Oh yeah, it is a mistake. But they'll get it sorted, and there won't be a just for the record, there's no match point loss. It was caught in the mulligan, so Ted will just queue his Shaman now. just to make sure that there's, you know, a rule clarification for those who don't know. It's not a game loss for queuing the wrong deck in Legacy because it didn't get to the mulligan. It didn't get through the mulligan.
All right.
Yep.
And now we have the Shaman Mirror. And
Quest Shaman Mirror, yeah.
well, so far what we're seeing in this mulligan, I think it's looks like a better start for the Big Ted than Donde. Usually on Quest Shaman, it's good to have your cards that draw more cards, and when you're missing those, it can be tough to get started.
Agreed. I think I've learned as I've played this, as I've seen this mirror, casted it, watched it played, or been opping. I think there's a couple of super key cards, and one of them is exactly the card that Donde just picked up in hand, which is Multicaster, because you get to draw a lot.
Yes, and the wind chill is also a big find there because it means that Donde will be drawing at least 2 cards, and oof. Well, we're going to see a high-powered game here. Both
like
of our
this.
players look like they have great stuff going.
Oh my goodness, yes, they do have some good stuff going here.
Yep. Donde will just have to settle for a hero power.
Yep.
And I think that the Sleet Breaker from Big Ted is just a bit more powerful.
I agree.
And here you can use Bloom to set up. You can use Bloom Windchill Multicaster to set up a draw 2 turn. I think that's probably what Big Ted is thinking right now.
Yeah, Donde has this exact play as well, though. So
Well,
we'll see if-
Donde can go for it. He can go Bloom, Feral Spirits, Lightning Bolt, and just take over the board.
Yeah, definitely. He's playing it. He's been playing these matches noticeably, rather conservatively. I'd probably go for the line that. I'd probably go for the Lightning Bloom Feral Spirit, but maybe he didn't want to do that because he wasn't so sure about overloading himself for so much going into the next turn.
Well,
But he would have
cleared his overload. It would have cleared his overload with the quest.
Oh,
I think.
so yeah, Bloom. Oh, Bloom Feral Spirits and Bolt. All of them. Yeah,
Yeah, I think Perpetual Flame is what you're worried about, but
true.
Big Ted, I think, chooses to hold on to the multicaster a little bit longer, doesn't want to go for that wind chill line. So it's a cycle of the overdraft, and I think
That's second
at this point,
breaker, right? So I mean, I guess you can opt for second Sleep Breaker here. But we're gonna go for
You could.
Zapper and Bolt.
yeah,
Burn
clear
not
off.
Burn not so much of a factor in this mirror sometimes in the end.
I think that the burn with Instructor Firehearts can be pretty key.
You're right.
And if you can, and there's a tension because if you have these lightning blooms, you can use them to accelerate your draw and get to your quest completion very quickly. But they're also a ton of burn in the late game. Yep. And Donde takes the two card multicaster.
He gets a bit rewarded.
See, guidance, Feral Spirit. That's excellent.
Yeah.
It's always great to find more quest progression in your random cards.
Definitely.
And Donde is through the first stage.
Yep. Meanwhile, Big Ted is on 2 out of 3, so he'll very likely he could go for Bloom here for multicaster, and that would have completed his quest. He would have actually had more mana to work with after that. But we're still gonna see it here.
So now we're gonna see 5 mana still available. So we will see the multicaster get 2 cards for Big Ted. And it's Brucan. So Big Ted is going big.
Yeah,
Brucan is
not a card I typically like to run in my lists, but I don't know how it is in the mirror, honestly. If you have any insight on that.
So I can say that Brucan is a card that I like to run in my list sometimes. And I think that part of it is that it gives you just another out against aggro.
Gotcha.
So if you can Lightning Bloom into an early Brucan, it can just give you a ton of value, lots of clears, and be pretty difficult to overcome. But in the mirror, when you're just slinging around double cast charge calls, the Brucan is still good. It's probably better than, say, Canal Slogger. But it doesn't really have the same game-ending punch that it does against aggressive decks like Hunter.
Agreed, yeah. I can see that.
It also can really help you grind against Warrior or other decks that are more focused on removal or need to get around taunts, because repeated 2-3 taunts can be pretty annoying for some decks to beat.
Mm-hmm. Zapper here is really nice.
Yes, you always want that extra quest progression.
Yeah. I will say a Perpetual Flame pickup here from Donde would have been very good.
Absolutely.
Because you would clear the whole board. You'd be overloaded for a ton next turn. But, yeah. But as of right now, we have a couple of decent lines. Yeah, Serpent Shrine Portal probably with the Sleepbreaker. Barov is quite interesting here. It doesn't do a whole lot because it's, you know, it wasn't played for its... Because it can't be hard run in this deck.
Yes.
But,
Death Rattle could still
could affect some
let
stuff.
Big Ted push through a little bit of damage, but
You're right.
when Donde has the Slogger in hand, I don't think he's particularly worried about that.
Yeah. I mean, you can't bump here. It doesn't make a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, he's like, oh, yeah, he's just gonna get Serpent Shrined. Guidance.
And Big Ted is racing to the finish
Ooh,
line.
that's a Landslide's an interesting pickup here, but for sure.
Wildpaw Caverns also.
Oh, Cavern's also a good pickup. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we could see a landslide clear here. Oh,
No, we're gonna hold the Landslide.
Ted elects to use minions.
Yeah, I don't
but
mind it.
This still sets up Wildpaw Cavern pretty nicely, so I think that that's probably just what Ted is thinking about.
Yeah. So Donde is currently sitting at 2 of 3, so he can complete the next part of quest here with Feral Spirits. Also Charge Call is at 6, which is a breakpoint that, like, if he really felt he needed to Charge Call, he could. I don't think he's gonna really opt for that though.
I don't think so either.
Definitely
But 6
wants to draw into a Perpetual Flame against this board.
Yes. Or at the very least, just keep it at bay and keep
Yeah.
working on that quest.
Definitely. So
And Feral Spirits will accomplish that.
I agree with that. But it leaves I guess the whole thing is you can't play around you can't necessarily play around your opponent having a landslide off of
Right.
a guidance. So there was no
I
way
think-
to clear it anyways, as far as I could see, besides like just missling and just hoping, but
Yeah, I think honestly I would have probably taken the Wildpaw Cavern line.
gotcha.
Just made a value trade into the 2-3, put my Zapper into the 3-3 taunt, and just got the Wildpaw going as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
But this works out nicely. You have Coin Brucan for next turn, but at this point you might be considering saving the coin for a Fireheart turn, since it's 2 mana with the Brucan bonus.
Yeah.
So Sleepbreaker, Windchill, Wildpaw Cavern is probably what Big Ted's looking at. For Donde, Vivid Spores is a very big find. That makes your charge calls so much more powerful after quest completion. And I think that putting your Slogger into a 3-3 is very, very good spot. So Donde is done. Donde has Brucan.
Yes, yeah, he has Brucan of the Stormcaller Brucan. Well, Big Ted has
Brucan of the Elements.
Brucan of the Elements, the hero card.
Yes.
But
So
quite a big, just barely missing out on that last card. I think he got it here with the guidance. He's not going to be able to play his Brucan. I mean, Donde gets it first, and he gets it with the ability to go overdraft into a charged call, which is pretty big.
A little bit awkward here, but I think that if I'm Big Ted, I would have protected that overdraft like my life depended on it, and that coin. Like, I think that the burst that you have available from that combo is just
So
ludicrous.
big. Yeah.
And the choice to go face there is not really helping his cause.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think
Yeah, so I guess we're gonna see Brucon first here, and then we'll see overdraft on something.
I think he could say. I would save it. I would save overdraft if I was Donde.
So you wouldn't. So we're maybe you just go with a Primordial Studies play here or a Devolve.
I would absolutely have gone with Primordial Studies, but he's going to go right for the charge call, and I don't love this line when you know that the Big Ted has their own Brucon ready, and
Ted's only overloaded for one, so he can also make a pretty big play himself this turn.
right. I think just
Doesn't
Brucon Tidal Surge is very good. You also have no more coin. Yeah.
But don't. But I think the reason I think the reason Don't they took this line is because of the fact that he has Fireheart in hand, and obviously both players have Fireheart. So but Don't they getting to go for his Fireheart turn first is pretty good.
Definitely. Now we see the Bloom here, and it would have been a really nice spot to have an overdraft, but
Yeah.
I think Dunk Tank kind of gets it done here. You can leave the 7/7 frozen and clear off the rest. You also could Primordial Studies first to see what's in the box, but
Yeah, I agree.
Donde or Big Ted will just slow roll it. And Donde finds the overdraft.
Oh,
We'll
wow.
see,
Yeah, he's ripping it. He's just going to go because...
Oh, this is a great time to do it. Not great finds. Tiny Toys isn't terrible, but Deathmatch Pavilions just keep it going. Seems like the choice. Guidance. Uh-oh.
Guidance is huge.
So if this Guidance finds a Lightning Bloom, it is lights out for Big Ted. Charge call. Gasoline. Landslide and another overdraft. Incredible. And then we'll see. Probably just, take the burn.
Yeah.
And then we'll see another charge call come down, and then and then overdraft.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good, yeah.
I don't think you can go for the Serpent Shrine Portal here.
I agree. I think Charge Call is just so good here. Vivid Spores is meh. I think he has
Spores.
I don't think
Spores is okay.
Okay.
But it's tough. It's a tough call. We'll see Storm Strike.
Okay. Remove the minion. I am okay.
Well,
I don't know. Like I'm obviously like it's a very nerve-wracking situation. Because like now Ted can technically Ted
can clear most of this.
Yeah, but he doesn't have an overdraft, and he's gonna do a lot of minion damage. Okay, and he didn't actually get the full. He didn't get the full clear, but he's gonna be able to get it here because he has like Tidal Surge and ways to clear through the minions and heal. Yeah, so it's gonna be. There's still good possibilities with this overdraft in hand. You have Primordial Studies, things like that. So we're looking pretty okay. From Donde's side as well.
Yeah. I think we just have to see a clear of some sort here. Don't know if Big Ted is going to commit the Tidal Surge or try to hold that to deal with a bigger threat.
Yeah, I don't know either. I just think you just have to clear through the 7-1 is really it.
Well, I like the Zapper here. Get a little bit more HP out of this.
Yeah.
Could have accomplished a little bit more with Lightning Bolt, but that can help you finish. So
Yeah, double charge call here's a lot.
Right, and I think that Donde probably is expecting Big Ted to have one of his 2 overdrafts with 6 cards left in deck. It's just so likely that he has it.
Yeah.
But now we'll see the charge call number
Fir-
1.
First call. I might have wanted to play the one that came from deck.
I agree. I think we'll just take the big minions and
Sure.
probably Vivid Spores.
Yeah, probably.
I think at this point, Donde has seen all of the wind chills. So,
I just think
Donde's going to clear.
Okay, we're gonna go for the clear. You probably take Lockalar. Yeah.
Yeah, I think both are fine. Donde doesn't elect to go for Vivid Spores.
Mm-hmm.
No, or he could, I guess. Still, he'll go for the next charge call.
Yeah, you can go charge call over. You have 2 overdrafts. So you can offer 1 overdraft with this. Now you just take big minions. Yep. Second Lockalar is really nice here.
Yeah.
You go face.
We'll see overdraft Vivid Spores.
No, you can't. You can't Vivid Spores after overdraft. He'll have 3 mana.
No, not enough overload. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't love how Donde handled that. If
I don't know, but can Ted realistically clear is the main thing.
I think with our caster vision, we know that that's not possible.
Yeah.
But
you're thinking that Ted's gonna have 30 damage in a.
Well, Ted could just have an overdraft.
Yeah, exactly.
And with 5 cards left in deck, 8 cards in hand, and knowing that 2 overdrafts are still available, and this Fireheart can't hit because it can't discover 0 cost cards. So Big Ted is bested.
Wow. Oh, he had so little mana. That's right.
He only had 3 mana available.
Ah, yeah.
And I think that, with 10 mana and a Fireheart available still is just, you can often string together something. And Vivid Spores, I think, lets you keep your threats coming while still putting on lethal pressure. And it doesn't really force you into a spot where, if your board gets removed, you're in a world of trouble. But sometimes they just don't have it. And in this case, Big Ted did not.
Yeah, so we got Donde coming in for an interview. It's been... Alright, hello, Mr. Donde.
Hey, everyone.
And congratulations on the nice win for your team.
Thank you. That was quite the series.
Lots of back and forth, good tension, and you guys have the same lineup, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, Ted and I are hero teammates, so I knew he had a pretty good idea of the type of stuff I liked. I didn't expect an exact mirror, but I guess it was probably better off that way, I guess, rather than like taking a chance and really leaning into a lineup that and whiffing. I'd rather have a mirror match.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think which of those decks do you think, if any, was like the real difference maker for you, or the one that you think helped you really break that mirror and get through?
So the Quest Shaman is a deck that I've played a lot. And I know that Ted knows I've played it a lot, so I was thinking maybe he would think that I would avoid it. And I thought, well, should I avoid it? No, I'm going to just play it because I know it's what I play a lot. I'm I feel like I'm good at the deck. I'm gonna bring it regardless. So I felt confident having that as kind of the last deck to play. I know the Warlock matchup is really, really bad for it, but that Perpetual Flame was extremely disappointing. It was like the only outcome where I died right there, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you might have actually had a way to live on 2 that was guaranteed, but...
Yeah, I figured if I do that, it's a slower death, and this way I have a chance at least of getting myself out of it. Because if I hit everything correctly, I could then overdraft the Anetheron's remaining life and clear the board, and then maybe get a foothold from there. It was what I was thinking anyway. And I was like, all right, at least if I hit one of the 3 things, then I can not die. And then I hit none of the 3.
Well, so the calculated risk just didn't pay off, unfortunately, but it was a close game. And then in the Quest Shaman mirror, though, you came out on top, and just those big charge calls really just did Big Ted in. Just so many huge minions.
Yeah, yeah, having the extra one come off of the generation was good too. I was that last turn with the Fireheart too. I was really kind of trying to navigate around like what's my best way to not, not let him like OTK me or something. If he had overdrafts, obviously he was extremely overloaded, and I was just trying to see if there was any way that I could get him before he got me. But then when he healed up, it was no longer possible. So was just hoping that the charge calls were enough to stick, and I guess he didn't have it. So that was very fortunate.
Yeah. Otherwise, though, I think that like one thing that was interesting in that mirror is that both of you really seem to have the philosophy of like taking it slow, not rushing too much on the quest, and just really going the full value route. Like, is that? I know you said you've played the deck a lot. Is that one of your philosophies for that mirror, or how you approach it?
Yeah, with the mirror, I think it's kind of important to try and line up your turns the best you can to free up as many of the mana crystals as possible when you complete step 1 of the quest, or to use your overdrafts. Obviously you saw I ran 2 of them there, and there's so many chances to generate more that it really allows for those flexible turns. And I think not playing into like an early perpetual flame too, like I had the feral spirits and I could have thrown it down, and I was like, well, if he has perpetual flame, he will obviously just clear the board, and then he will get all those mana crystals back, even though he overloaded for like 4 or 5 on that turn or whatever, because he'll just finish the first part of the quest. So just try to make it like as awkward as possible for your opponent to like plan their overloads, I think is really the key to that.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I know for sure like that's so important in that, and like making sure that like if they have to space them out, they can only get 1 card's worth of value off stage 1 of the quest. Just like trying to make it so that you have to hit the balance between getting your Brukan quickly and making sure that they don't get theirs too efficiently either.
Definitely, yeah. And I had Brukan the hero in that deck as well, which we did not see, but he was there. I promise you. Just for that little extra bit. Like sometimes you can rush him out. Like you can get an early Lightning Bloom or Lightning Bloom coin, can get him out there on 5, and then all of a sudden you have tons of value that you can generate. I know it's not entirely controlled because of the random hero power, but like it can really swing a game if you get him out there quickly. So I don't know if Ted was running it, but I mean we didn't see it obviously.
We did see that.
Okay, you guys saw it. I didn't see it.
Yes, from our caster vision, we saw it.
Yes, yeah. That makes sense then.
Mm-hmm.
We saw whether or not he was running it. That is.
Mm-hmm. There's nothing quite like getting out that turn 3 Brukan against Hunter and just feeling dirty.
Oh yeah, clear the board and just you're living forever. It's a great feeling for sure.
Yeah,
not for them, but we don't like hunters, so that's okay.
Aw, Hunter is Sag now. Nah, honestly, like
that was specifically for Ron to dig at Ron.
To dig at Ron, of course it is. Yeah. Of course it is.
And Ted's teammate also.
Our boy Ron, yeah. Oh man, we had so many great matches on stream tonight. Thank you, Dome Day, and of course Ted for playing. It was a very entertaining match to spectate. And Game 5 is always good from the viewing perspective.
Yeah, it's always a little nerve-wracking when you
have to
go into game. Yeah, when you have to play Game 5, but you had a chance to lock up the series earlier. I always feel like, I know momentum's kind of one of those concepts that people don't really believe in, but it like the mentality of winning that Game 4 to get yourself to Game 5 kind of like I think amps that person up a little bit.
Yeah.
So I felt like maybe Ted had that kind of extra boost going into the final game. Despite the fact that Warlock is a favorite matchup and he should win that, it's Hearthstone and things happen. But Ted's a great player, and I knew that I was going to be in for an uphill battle on those negative matchups for sure.
Definitely. Never take any opponent for granted.
Except Ron Mexico.
All right. Well, we don't have any more matches. We've had a full slate. Boy, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you, Danka's dad, for casting and taking a step away from your usual Friday spot to come and join me for this. And I want to thank every participant who played tonight in JR Juggerlaw, Classy Thug, Super Murloc, and of course his opponent, who was Kura Finway 86. Yeah, your Danka's dad's teammate. So thank you everybody for coming by. Thank you to Turtle again for the raid partway through Donde's match, and thank you and thank you to chat. Everybody who's out there chatting away. It's always nice to see everybody. We will be back tomorrow night with Friday night fights. I'm not 100% sure how many matches Saku will have, but I'm sure he will have them announced tomorrow.
He has 2 actually. I can
He has
help you
2.
with that.
Okay, cool.
And I think Wild 9 will be on the Friday commentary along with him.
Yeah, so it'll
Be a good show.
Yeah, Corridon and Wild 9. So awesome. That's going to do it for us tonight on Thursday Throwdown. Have a fantastic rest of your evening, everyone. See you tomorrow night. Stay safe.
All right. Thanks, everyone.